it's why no one's sharing the stuff that we're doing necessarily either. We legitimately do not hear from anyone. It's even why when Matt just came by earlier.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was weird because I haven't heard from him in like 2 months now. He'll do things publicly sometimes, but I don't directly hear from him for the most part. Even when we took our trip, he said a thing about maybe hanging out, but then when we were out there, I didn't hear from him again. So it's kind of on and off with that kind of thing. When I got outed to my family as being gay a few years back, it was pretty bad. It was obviously bad. It was already awkward having a lot of people just kicking me off to the side and abandoning me after telling me to speak up about stuff. The worst of it was I actually had someone, they found out that I had attempted suicide at the time, and they made a quote-unquote joke about how I should have left a suicide note blaming some people they didn't like. Good joke. Really funny stuff. I don't think it was a joke. It was a very tough window during that, and I was still in contact with my mom during that too. I talked to her about some of it, and she didn't seem to care whatsoever. And it's why, once again, the YouTube shit, all of this garbage, it got to be a part of that. It was an extension of it. Because once again, it was the idea of the truth doesn't matter. Whatever people perceive to be the truth, that's all they care about. Doesn't matter what actually happened. And hey, sure, you could be the one person saying it didn't happen because you were there and you were the one impacted by it, but those other people are saying it did happen. And they were the first ones to speak about it. In fact, are they almost like they're trying to control the narrative?
Oh, no.
People don't do that, right?
I didn't know it could do that. They gave me a special animation for it hitting a tree.
Oh, really? But people don't consider that sometimes. A lot of people want to be skeptical of people who are just upfront and honest, because I guess it is weird to be fair. I don't see creators typically wanting to do that.
It's
even back at the time, I had everyone
considered
warning me not
abnormal to say stuff.
I had so many
honest.
people telling me, "Stop it! You can't say these things," and I had to be like, "Why? It's true though, because you're not. But because you're not. Certain things aren't supposed to be said."
There's the truth.
You
get to work that one back
exactly. Yeah. No, it's just the Simpsons bit. There's the truth, or the truth. That's exactly what it was. And guess what? Every step of the way when we were telling the truth, the public didn't want to hear it either.
Yeah.
That's why none of this should have been a mystery. It was all being said the whole time, and it was there the whole time. It's just people didn't want to listen, and that's why, once again, on my end, I've already been used to that my whole life. I just get to chalk it up then towards that I get to go, all right, just more confirmation. That's why I was going to quit everything this year, too, is because I figured there's no hope here. But in certain situations, I'm doing these things internally, and I probably have more insight on it than people on the outside ever would. Funnily enough, when we spoke about that game years back, we had a lot of experts on the outside who knew absolutely nothing about it, insisting they knew everything about it. Because, you know, those two guys that were there internally there for all of it, why would they know anything about it? I watch videos, I think I'm an expert. No, the outside never fucking understood what was going on internally, and while we were telling people what was happening, no one wanted to fucking listen. 2017, when I hurt myself, a lot of the community was there to celebrate it. I even remember people were trying to place bets on when I was going to attempt it again. No, it wasn't a positive reception. The only time people were trying to take it positively is because they were hoping to weaponize it against people they didn't like. I kept telling everyone, you guys know that there wasn't, like, a good guy and a bad guy here, right? Because I can still say that to this point. Not a single person stood up for us in 2017. I keep seeing a narrative going that someone did. Can you guys point to me where they publicly stood up for us? Can you actually point to that? I'm willing. I'd love to see it. I really would. I would love to see it. Because I remember back at the time being very directly told by people they were not going to stand up for me. I had people telling me that they were done talking to me. I had someone insisting on me to speak up about it, and then as soon as I did, they went, "Hey, you made things really weird for me now because you did that. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything about it because if I do that, it's gonna be, it's gonna be weird for me too. I don't want to get, I don't want to get thrown under." I had people just telling me they outright were not going to stand up in any way about this or be honest about it. I had everybody saying that at the time.
You had, yeah, some people specifically said if you say this, we're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
And yet they continue to act like you're friends.
I know, isn't that weird?
A bunch of years later.
Isn't that weird?
Which is kind of interesting.
Isn't that bizarre? Especially when I just acknowledged we haven't spoken in months. Isn't that weird? It's almost like it's a performance. It's almost like we've acknowledged this on stream numerous times too, and people kept going with it. Isn't it weird that we kept having people being told to ask us about things rather than them contacting us themselves? Almost like they don't want to make a conversation because they know they messed up. No, I've been like, guys, I have taken so many fucking buses over myself over the years. Totally needlessly for this shit. Julian was encouraging me, like, at the very beginning, just fucking say all of it. Who cares? Just say all of it. You're trying way too hard to be nice to people who are fine with you getting hurt. Just say something.
For clarification, no, he's not putting words in my mouth.
I mean, you could go into it, how hard you were pushing. It was
no,
emotional.
it was really, it was...
You would come home and you were crying sometimes just because you couldn't stand it anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I'm putting it in front of you guys, though, and I don't fucking care. This isn't like the old days where someone goes, "Can't we just make weed jokes?" You can, but I'll make fun of you for it and then get back to what I was talking about. No. Especially if this is going to be the stream tonight that coincidentally gets shared in this kind of way. No, I'll talk about all of it. That's why I got so confused even at the beginning of the stream, because once again, I've had a lot of this with people. No one will fucking directly approach me. It has to be stuff like that. I tried to talk to people recently and they won't say anything to me. It has to be in front of an audience. It has to be a public spectacle. It has to be a performance. It's annoying. Are people in America so afraid to face people privately? No, it's not even that. It's that fucking entertainment industry is a goddamn joke. It's all about ladder climbing and lying to each other and trying to get yourself into a good position. You only reveal your true intentions when you've made it. That's why people get confused going, what the? He was such a nice guy until he got rich. What happened? You got to see who he really was. He was chasing after becoming rich, and now that he's rich, you're getting to see his true colors. Because that's not a thing that happens to everybody, but the people who are pursuing it usually are the ones who get into that position, and then that's why that happens. That's why you have Dave Chappelle being completely tone deaf and bringing Elon Musk out on stage and going, I don't get it. Why are they booing? Here, I'll try running a joke past them. Hey, you must all be poor and you bought the poor person's seats. They're booing more. What's going on? This is weird. The audience doesn't like it when I call them poor? But they are poor. And I'm rich and I'm better than them. What's going on? It's why when a lot of people start speaking up about the abusive environments at like Activision, you also have a lot of people going, oh, blah, 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 boo-hoo, quit crying. Because people don't give a shit. Consumers don't fucking care. They expect you to put up with the abuse because they don't give a fucking shit in the slightest. I couldn't figure out a word.
Yeah, you had a nice little string there.
I couldn't figure out a word.
I can feel the frustration, and I'm rubbing my
I know. Julian loves it when I do stuff like this.
I'm rubbing my hands.
He's very happy when I'm just upfront about these things and just not caring. Because, yes, I've been encouraged by everybody else in my life not to do that. A thing of don't fucking acknowledge what's happening. You're supposed to keep your head down, so that way more of it can happen. Because I know that's the last part of it. It's so more of it can happen. You're supposed to keep your head down so more of it can happen. Because we've had that too. It was the stories I was telling. We had friends even directly do stuff like that, where it's like they don't even have a thing to necessarily backpedal into. It's just, you should just not. And then they walk away. We had a lot of people who insisted that they cared and they wanted to hear about these things, and then every step of the way they didn't listen. And it was frustrating. Julian was getting mad about it too. I basically have had to drive myself insane to even operate around this. I've had to just accept that there is an alternate reality that everybody else is in right now, because nobody gives a flying fuck about what actually was going on. And basically, some of that was coming from people already trying to control the narrative behind the scenes at the time. I already remember a lot of incidents about, like, let's have fake fights, let's get into fake arguments, and I knew why it was happening. After the first fake argument, I realized it immediately. You want to start a fake fight because you're hoping that when we have a real fight, nobody will know the difference between it being a joke or if it's reality. This is the kind of stuff that people online do, I guess. I guess this is what people in the entertainment industry do. I guess this is what a lot of people do, that they're not thinking, like, realistically, they're just thinking strategically the whole time. How can I steer public perception?
Oh, that was awful.
That's why offering the truth is always going to be the one that people are going to tell you, shut up, no, you're not supposed to do that. Because if you do that, then like everything that we set up falls apart. You can't do that. You're supposed to kind of bend around like all the lies that we came up with. That's why I keep saying there were no good guys. This entire situation was just on all ends, things were a mess. And I felt stupid myself for even trying.
I would say even you can count me as one of the bad people in that situation, because I pushed you into talking about it when you weren't comfortable to.
You should acknowledge that, I guess. The reason I spoke about Dream Daddy, I wasn't going to.
I was frustrated that I felt that it was worth making a big deal about. Dee Dee was like, this is not worth harming ourselves over.
Yes, because I did recognize with how paranoid everybody was acting and how dishonest they were already being behind the scenes.
I wasn't willing to hear it.
I kind of knew that this was not worth throwing myself under. I would rather cleanly get away from this so I don't ever have to hear about any of these things again in my life. And then we ended up doing that, and then no. At this point, I'm going to infinitely hear about these things until the end of time. The reason I'm being so open right now, it's because I also just mentioned... Aw, you almost bounced it.
I was hoping it would count.
That's why I mentioned the stuff with my mom, too. My mom was doing a lot of this guilt-tripping, too, and I kept subscribing to this narrative of, fine, all this is my fault because she's told everybody it's my fault, so I guess I just have to accept it as my fault. I know it's not true, but if you're going to tell everybody that, and I can't really have any say here, then I guess it's just going to have to be true. And that's what a lot of this kind of felt like. It didn't matter what really happened. Reality never mattered. I was stupid for even trying to prioritize reality. And I was even recognizing up to that moment before we spoke up about it that reality was not going to matter here. It's all a performance. These people, in a lot of cases, weren't even truly friends. They were kind of workers that we were with. And I just felt stupid because... not only did I speak up because of you, I also spoke up because I think of the ramen shop.
There were many other people also pressuring
us
that we needed to speak up about Dream Daddy.
There were about like 6 or 7 people who were bringing it up. I had a list of things that I wouldn't have even said on my own. There were phrases I would not have even used on my own if it weren't for that. And I even remember it. The night before I spoke about it, we went to a ramen shop with a few people, and we went over it on my phone. I had a list of all of it. I still have the text and everything. The reason I never bothered showing any of this publicly is because I was hoping to God people would fucking leave me alone with that already. Nobody has, I will confirm this too, absolutely no one has acknowledged publicly what happened outside of my end. Everybody wanted it to just slide by because no one wanted to admit mistakes they made or how it could be their fault partially. They already saw what happened to us for speaking up. So that was basically their lesson of don't say anything. If we ever were wondering before if we could be honest about this stuff, here's the confirmation. No, we cannot. Let's just never acknowledge what happened here. So that's why sometimes we get this weird vagueness with some people publicly when they don't even speak to us ever behind the scenes. And then we get things like they've been telling their audiences to give us messages on occasion. That's why they can't do it themselves, because they know it's a thing that frustrated us, and it's a thing that hurt us. And I even remember when some of it happened at the time, I got to be told, oh, come on, that was a few months ago, followed by, well, that was like 8 months ago, followed by, well, that was a year ago, followed by, that was 2 years ago. If the behavior doesn't change, I don't care how long ago it was. I've had that happen a lot, too, that I have people do that, where it's like, oh, but come on. The worst of it, I remember, is when we were trying to quit, we had, I think, 8 different friends who reported the same story back to us that they got lied to about us quitting, that they were told we're not quitting, that we're just bluffing. That was the phrasing.
No, yeah, exactly.
Bluffing.
That's why it made me laugh. I'm glad you remembered that was the exact phrasing. As if we had something to gain out of the situation.
We were trying to stop earlier and earlier. Even stuff like that wasn't easy, just trying to step away from it. And I remember at the time, people were like, oh, come on, you're exaggerating. It's not that hard. So I wish you were there behind the scenes. You would have been surprised. It was very difficult. And I remember as soon as that happened, I approached the person who had lied about it. And I remember, seriously, this was a week after they had lied to everybody. I approached them about it, and they said, come on, it was in the past. It was a week ago. And I said to them, you can't play that card when it was literally a week ago. I would understand if maybe 5 years passed. It was a fucking week ago. No, you're not just off the hook when you lied to everybody. I was going fucking insane from this shit. So much fucking lying, so much fucking bullshit, and all shit that was just getting me hurt by the end anyways. But, once again, I can go towards the positivity angle here, so that's why I'm talking about all of it. I'm glad to be saying all of this. In another situation, I wouldn't have, because over the years, I've been told not to. I've been told to just accept all of this, blame yourself for all of it, take it all over yourself, whatever. Who fucking cares? Well, I don't fucking care, which is why I'm going to talk about it now. But that's why I'm talking about a lot of this stuff, and over the years, if people are wondering the kind of shit I complain about, this is the kind of stuff I complain about. I fucking hate abusive work environments, I hate dishonesty, I hate people lying to one another, I hate people trying to throw off blame or get each other hurt. Which is why, once again, at the beginning, I was trying to be as open as I could be. The only reason Dream Daddy was one I didn't want to talk about was because I knew it wasn't worth it. I knew it wasn't going to be a thing anyone was going to bring up again within a few months anyways. It was going to be a little, like, blip on a radar because it was going to be the audience already following this channel getting behind it because it's what the audience does. They're not looking for these things. This goes for most channels. Fans of the material are not looking for these things ever. They're going to let everything slide continuously and never even try to investigate when some things are pretty obvious and they're pretty blatantly right there in front of you. I'm not kidding when I say this. The reason I wanted to get away from YouTube shit is that it's so fucking filthy behind the scenes, and it's not even one place. Once again, there's no good guys here. It's all over the place. My excitement for video games even got to be impacted because I realized all of this is attached even to the industry side of things. I got to hear certain game companies actually change their focus to Let's Players or Twitch streamers, that they're not making games for general players anymore. Now they're trying to focus on getting good, entertaining material for just 3 people, and as long as those 3 people make a good video, that's where our sales are going to come from. I didn't realize just how, like, linked up all of this was. Overwatch, I got to watch all the PR behind the scenes. You know why it partially blew up as big as it did? Because they spent a shit ton of money sending free swag to everybody and making them sign contract deals to stay on board. Because, hey, it's Activision Blizzard, you don't want to miss out on that, right? No, I got to watch all this shit. It was disgusting. Especially that some of this you could hear people be in positions to say that this is an area they care about when, no, I think you cared about you being viable in this area. I don't think you actually have respect for games themselves or the industry. I think you just like what you're getting out of it. Once again, I'll say it. Back in 2017, when all that stuff happened, I will encourage anyone to go find public posts for who stood up for us. Who spread that narrative? Can I ask who here? Do you guys know who spread that narrative? Who spread the narrative that we had people stand up for us? I can't think of a single public post from anyone that we knew that actually stood up for us at the time. That's why I'm saying there's no heroes here. I can't think of a single soul, and I don't know why that spread as a narrative. Outside of wishful thinking. No. Nobody stood up for us during that. And once again, the worst of it was some of the people who even told me to speak up about it were then on the phone with me that day being like, oh yeah, kind of awkward anyways, good luck. One of them said, like, I don't know, go get high or something. I'm not going to be able to talk to you here. Bye. And then after the suicide attempt, next day, I talked to someone about it, and I don't even know how I'm supposed to get past this morning. I have been demanded to go back to this stuff for years, and I don't even know how I'm supposed to get past this one. They seriously... I told them what happened. Julian told them too. We told them what had happened. I tried to overdose. Julian stopped me. He slapped it out of my hands. And him crying and breaking down in front of me is what got me to stop, because I realized he was the most important thing, and he was someone who genuinely cared. I was going to remove myself because my entire life I have been used to the idea of nothing I say matters, nothing I do matters. I am here to basically help someone else go around and abuse other people. That's what I'm here for. Julian was my wake-up call because it was the first time somebody genuinely cared like that, but that's why I didn't go through with it. So the next day we're talking to somebody, and immediately they present the idea of, wouldn't it be funny, though, if, somebody, did do it and they left a note blaming these specific people for it? That was not a joke. That was a serious thing that they had said immediately after, making it clear, you want me to fucking do it, don't you? You want me to do it, and you want me to leave a note, and you want to fucking exploit me on this. Are you kidding me right now?
I'm glad you're raising your voice about it.
Because I think that was the most ridiculous, wouldn't you say? You're gonna have a tough time.
Because it's been a long few years. How
did you feel when that happened?
I think the issue is that it crosses the line anyway.
Yes,
no matter whether it's the worst thing.
I still can't get over it. I can't believe I seriously had that suggested to me. And you were there for it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that wasn't the only kind of comment like that over the years. I had a lot of weird shit like that where it's like, what are you expecting of me? Are you seriously expecting me to do shit like this to myself? Are you kidding me? Yes. I put myself through a lot of shit. And I kept my mouth shut the entire time because I figured if I said anything more, no one was going to listen because, to be fair, they didn't. It's negativity. You're just being mean. You're being a stick in the mud. Yeah, I heard it from everybody around me, too. But, here it is, guys. For anyone who showed up tonight, once again, ooh, man, gotcha, suckers. You picked the wrong stream to come to. You probably thought this was just going to be a fun stream.
I mean, look at him smiling.
Yeah. Haha. Because I've also heard people make all these different things about, oh, it wasn't that bad. Oh, it wasn't. Yes, it was. Yes, it absolutely was. And the reason you don't think it was bad, because I had the fucking patience to keep my mouth shut. Yes, it was. I made distance for a fucking reason when it came to all of this shit. And everyone else is free to do whatever they want. It's why I'm not going much harder on a lot of this, too. I wanted to get away from this shit. I wanted my distance, even if nobody else would let me fucking have it. I wanted it. Because I was fine to just take it that way and go, fine, what the fuck ever. Blame me for everything, fine. Can I go back to working on things? And that was the issue, the answer was no. But yeah, whatever. Welcome to New Internet. Welcome to just, this is your future. Everyone's fucking lying. Everyone's trying to just hurt each other. And you're gonna have someone yell at you and tell you why it's a problem that you actually care about things. Or that maybe you don't like seeing people hurt for no reason. You're going to be the problem there. That sounds like you're being pretty mean. I hope you're not going to defend someone when someone's, like, you know, actively setting out to hurt them and ruin their life. I hope you don't defend somebody. That's pretty mean. Bring back bullying, says the 34-year-old that was bullied all the time in high school, and he actually hated it back then, but the reason he's saying it now is because he gets the chance to pick on little kids. It's frustrating. It's all really frustrating. And once again, I'm sorry, too, if anyone was confused with this shit. I've tried to talk about it over the years, and once again, obviously it's been silenced. Nobody gave a fuck. But that's why I'm saying it again here. No, this stuff was real. And once again, too, for anybody who maybe was doing that harm, if you're hearing this, too, Julian's here to also confirm he was there for all of it. For some reason, there's also been a bizarre thing going on that everyone keeps treating it as if I was the only one aware of this stuff.
Yeah.
So we've had people coming to Julian as if, like...
Oh, dear, I fucked up.
Hoping to convince him, like, so that stuff that he's
Ding Dong's acting really weird.
Yeah, that stuff didn't happen when it's like...
I was there for it.
He was there the same day.
It happened uncannily frequently. There were a lot of people that for whatever reason, I would tell them off to their face. And then they would still be like, yeah, what's up with Ding Dong, dude? Like, he's got some kind of problem with me? And I'm like, I was just yelling at you for this exact same stuff.
Yeah.
I don't understand why I don't count.
Because I've been designated. I'm the villain. And funnily enough, like I said on the Dream Daddy thing, I think a lot of them assumed that was me when it was like, actually, I was the one who didn't want to talk about it publicly because I didn't think it was worth it.
All this time, folks have it backwards. I've been the one who wanted to talk about shit. And Dee Dee was the one who was like, no, we gotta lay low.
Funny how that goes.
Things can work out.
Funny how that goes.
Saying
for so
we
many
can
years,
lay
it was
low,
the
even like that sounds like there's an aura of guilt to it. It's you didn't want confrontation. You were hoping things would blow over, and they never did because
397 yards.
That's not what the goal is.
No.
The goal is not for it to blow over.
No, the goal is for it to be silenced.
I'm also really sleepy.
No,
so
it's fine.
My sentence structure
and we can wrap
fucking
up
sucks
soon.
right now.
We can wrap up soon. It's okay. Hey, the lesson is, you're on the fucking internet. All of these people are probably losing their minds and doing really stupid shit behind the scenes, and that's why they're starting fights to begin with. Do you know why people typically initiate fights? Because they want to control the narrative to begin with. It's very rare that someone will be just standing out to say something like that, just out of the blue. And even on our ends, we had a lot of narrative controlling. Enough so that there was an outright lie that we didn't even see that game back at the time. I remember it kept pushing further and further because people didn't need it proven to them. They knew we were being honest. They were just trying to make problems for the sake of it. That I had people going, sure, you showed, like, the creation date and the file, and you showed, like, the startup screen, but you didn't show more. I eventually just said, fuck it, and I showed the first minute of it. I said, now shut the fuck up and leave me alone. And guess what? I still got people going, but you could have made that. It's not real. It's not a real response at that point. You just don't fucking care because you want to control the narrative and make it into something that it isn't. I have felt so goddamn stupid for like 7 years doing this shit for people. And once again, Julian was there for all of it. It's why it's even more maddening because for him, he's wanted me to say this shit since day one.
Yeah, since day one.
Because it's been happening the whole time, and the only reason I've been threatened is because it's the idea of a lot of these people would not like it if the truth was out there. That's what they're trying to get shut down. They don't want you acknowledging what they did. You're supposed to keep your mouth shut because it could hurt them. If it's hurting you, who the fuck are you? That doesn't matter. But it can't hurt them because if it hurts them, what if it spreads to others then? Because a lot of other people are being dishonest too. What if, like, a lot of YouTubers, what if, like, thousands of YouTubers then get into a position now through this? That would be bad. It's better one person gets hurt than thousands, because those thousands maybe did something bad, and that one person is just noticing it. I got threats constantly when we were back in LA, and I don't mean that from the audience, I even mean internally when working. And that comes from all ends, once again. This wasn't even just YouTube. Game studios, I had it happen everywhere. I constantly had to feel like I was being threatened just because I was noticing things when they were happening. A good worker is one that keeps his little mouth shut, because as soon as he says something, you'll be phased out with a 20-year-old that doesn't know anything about the industry yet. It's why I was saying so much, and it's why I was even willing to get myself blacklisted to say some of this stuff, because I didn't care anymore. But when no one's going to listen to you, what's the point of saying anything? And that's why I got into a position of, why am I saying anything? It doesn't matter. But that's why I'm at a point of, you know what, if nothing really matters anyways, nothing matters.
Yeah,
I'll talk about it.
Go for it.
Yeah, I may as well then. If nothing matters, I may as well then. It sucks that so much of this happened. And I've had plenty of people tell me similar with this too, that if they were in the same position, they probably would not have even been able to have done this. They would not have been able to put up with as much of this. They would have shut down years ago. I almost did. 2017 is why I was ready to just give up. 2017 felt like, this is it, it's all over. Because Julian, the thing he said to me before I even spoke about the game, he said, well, this is the test if these people are truly your friends then, isn't it? And it was. And guess what? Once again, not a single soul, not a single one stood up for us. That's why I keep encouraging people, show me the messages. You guys have been rolling this narrative for years now, that we had people defend us. Can you show me a single message from somebody where they defended us on that? Can you show me one? And if it's going to be a thing, too, of like, well, here's one from 2022 that's kind of vague and not really... No. Can you show me one from 2017 or 2018 even? Can you show me one from that time where somebody stood up for us publicly during that? They didn't. You guys have been spreading a false fucking narrative this entire time because you didn't give a shit. You wanted to have your juicy drama about fucking people that play video games. And that's what was frustrating about for me too, is this is so goddamn childish. And yet, I'm supposed to be living my life around this. My finances are being determined by this. During that window, when we were waiting seriously 3.5 months for pay, Julian can talk about it. My health was falling apart. A lot of people could probably bring it up. I looked like a fucking skeleton. I had huge bags under my eyes.
I think that was when your ear stuff started.
Yeah.
kicking in, right?
I was up 22 to 23 hours a day sometimes just doing work, and my only time to sleep is when videos were exporting. All for the hope that maybe we would eventually get paid here, which we did, and even then it wasn't by enough, which is why I said we had to even do the Patreon. I got told at the time when I finally got put on pay, think of this as a part-time thing, when no it isn't. This is full-time. It's not a part-time thing.
Well, it's because you're supposed to think of it as a
You're supposed to think of it as that, so you can maybe lie to yourself that this is reasonable, when it wasn't. I even got told that there were plans since the beginning. This is the thing, I've never gotten a straight story on it, and whenever I've tried to push for a straight story, I still have never been told one. Everybody goes in every different direction, pointing fingers at each other for it. So I still have no clue what the fucking truth is on this one. But back at the time with the pay thing, I did get directly told when we had our first meeting on it, oh, yeah, I thought we got told that you were going to work for publicity. I have been, like I said, yanked up and down with this shit. I have no fucking clue. And on that one, I can't even give you guys a straight story. I could talk about everything else very truthfully, but there's the truth on that one. I don't even know what the fuck happened. Because nobody was honest with me on it. And still to this day, they're not. I have no fucking clue what happened. I don't know why we got yanked around the way we did. I don't know who was to blame for that. It could just be everybody. I don't think it is. I know some people were trying to help because by the end, they were trying to help. I don't think you guys knew this. I got taken off pay later on. Both Julian and I got taken off pay. We weren't being paid for videos anymore. It was just for thumbnails and Uber rides, I think. We had to get put back on pay. And during that, what sucked about it was that this was just a thing in the back. It was happening. I'm not supposed to say anything about it because I'm not supposed to acknowledge what's going on financially here. But it was a thing that happened. We got yanked around a lot when it came to finances. A lot. I wish entertainment didn't have to be so hellish. I wish it didn't have to either, and to be fair, it doesn't have to be. But if the wrong kind of behavior gets enabled for a long time, you're normalizing it, and you can't be surprised then that that becomes the standard. Once again, with Activision, a lot of people have known about it, but they let it slide. They didn't say anything, so you can't be surprised that it got normalized and it became the environment. People need to shut problems down preemptively, and unfortunately, most people can't even handle that. They need to see the actual damage get done before they'll do something. And that's the thing with our end was, it was all behind the scenes, so you guys didn't have to see a lot of the damage being done. Oh, we might have talked about it, but who the fuck are we? I don't know, those two are like irrelevant. Oh, ratioed. Literally that. It's what happened when we played the game. I got ratioed. I gave a very direct, honest thing about it, and then because someone was bigger, they lied about it publicly and said we had never even seen it before, when I still have the fucking prototype sitting on my hard drive. I still have the email from who sent it to me telling me to talk about it. I still have the text messages. So by the way, once again, if anyone's hearing this, I still have all your messages. I still have everything that happened. The reason I never made it public is because I figured you'd leave me the fuck alone. I didn't think you were going to be so stubborn about lying for so long. I still remember what happened. Just letting you know. Thanks.
Whole number, 17.
At least on Julian's end, they don't bother with him.
Yeah.
They haven't even been contacting him. While still saying, I wish we could talk to him more.
No, I mean, at least you get people talking to you on occasion, and I'm fine. I don't need that bullshit in my life.
It's why I never did this.
But I think it goes a long way towards showing, like, that they just don't take us seriously.
They don't take us seriously, they don't give a shit. They only took us seriously when they knew we witnessed them doing something cowardly, and they were just hoping they could get it to kind of go by, and then after that, whatever. It's always been a performance. It fucking sucks. And me saying all that stuff, I'm not trying to say it to be threatening. I know it's going to be threatening to them, because they've felt threatened for years. The reason that we're partially being kept in this way, you know that phrase? You know that term that people say, keep your enemies closer? That's what it is. I know the reason that some people are even trying to keep me near them is because they want to monitor what I'm doing. I fucking have had people come to my stream as spies, and I'm not kidding when I say that.
Yeah.
I remember earlier this year, I noticed a specific follower that I even called it out, that it went, that's interesting. Is there a reason why you're here right now, considering what I'm discussing? He didn't say anything, and he disappeared right away. I knew what he was doing. No, I had people do this shit. I would sometimes have people come by streams purely to monitor me because they wanted to make sure I wasn't going to say too much about what we were dealing with. And that's why I'm bringing up the idea of, I have receipts. The reason I never posted them is because, once again, I didn't want to be a petty little shit with this. I knew people were just going to go, cancel culture, cancel culture! I knew no one was going to ever fucking listen because they didn't to begin with. So I just held on to it because it's like, well, it's truthful, it's here. I'm not going to post it because I know no one's going to fucking listen, and I don't want to start a big fight. I would ideally like this to be a thing of I get to be left alone. But that's why I'm at least bringing it up now. I didn't lose any of that. If you guys are hoping I forgot about everything, I didn't. If you're hoping I lost any of that stuff, I didn't. In fact, somebody I talked to recently lied to my face about something, saying, I never said that. And I had to say, go type this in. You can go find it in your chat history. And they said, no. And I went, no? So I searched for it, and I pinned it, because it was there. I have had people find a fucking lie to my face over and over and over again.
Player 2 had a bad day.
So yeah,
Nancy's report.
we're done with this as a conversation. I don't think I need to run it much deeper. I think I covered just about everything. And once again, people are hoping like, oh man, no, go all the way with it. Name the names. Oh, this is so juicy. Well, that's exactly why I'm not going to do it. Because you've been missing the fucking point this whole time. I don't even give a shit about these people like having justice because they're never going to fucking have it anyways. Audiences don't give a shit about justice. They never fucking cared. I'm only bringing it up to let people know, no, I've been well aware of all of this. I've been watching it the entire time. Public narrative is a fucking lie. It always has been. Julian's been here for all of it too. So if anyone needs that as confirmation as well, because maybe you guys only heard me talking about it. Julian, you're right here. All of this happened. And it fucking sucked, didn't it?
The nice thing about the fact that you guys never took me seriously is that I was talking a lot more explicitly about this on my stream, and nobody ever noticed.
It's true, you were. I think it's why even early on some people were making comments about like, oh yeah, I don't watch Julian stuff. Probably because you were just directly talking about it, because you were. You made the Tumblr post and everything too.
Yeah.
You wanted to be open about all of it, and you were begging me to be open since the start because you couldn't stand how far it was all going.
This is Nancy's report.
But that's just what I've wanted to do this whole time. If you guys were wondering why, it's so weird how much he's trying to fight for distance. Is it because they're all getting into fights behind the scenes right now? No. Do you know what it is? It's that literally for years I've been trying to just fucking walk away from this and nobody will let me. Because they're paranoid. They're so fucking paranoid because of what we witnessed that it might come up at some point, so we gotta really make sure. I'm not kidding with this shit. Some of the 4chan threads, you wanna know who made them? Somebody that we actually know. People near us. People who actually did want to sabotage us and ensure no one would ever fucking listen.
Your phone number was impossible to have gotten out.
Yes.
That had to have come from somebody on the inside.
That's why when someone was trying to insist recently, the new narrative is, I think it was his stalker. No, do you know how my phone number got out? Somebody very direct that we knew did it. And I'm thinking of 3 specific people who it could have been. But honestly, at this point, I'll say I think I know exactly who it was. Because they were responsible for a lot of this behind the scenes. I was getting warnings since the beginning that it was even happening. That sometimes at the office it was happening. That they were noticing that in the web history, things were getting posted and being used. Once again, it's why I was fucking taking photos of everything. I can't believe I had to fucking do that for a job. I had to take photos of literally everything before leaving the office every night. I had to take photos of every room, everything the way it was left, because we were getting blamed for that shit too, until they eventually caught who was doing it. It was so fucking frustrating being in an infinite cycle of this. Well, that's why I'm saying too, I'm not going to go further with it now. You guys at least know, and if you guys want more juicy gossip here, I'm sorry, you blew it. you had years of this that we've actually spoken about it even more openly than this. It's been a thing since the start. It never fucking went away. The only thing that changed is that people got more and more stubborn about the bullshit narrative that people came up with, insisting more and more, those guys are just weird. They're just behaving weirdly. No, but I wouldn't walk away from that. I'd love to be famous. Why are they walking away? Because we didn't ever fucking care about it. That was never the plan. It's never what we wanted to fucking do. And it was a goddamn headache when it should have been so easy. It's video games. It should have been the easiest thing ever. And it is so fucking sad and pathetic that behind the scenes, it is everyone acting like a coward trying to fucking cut each other down. And once again, it impacted our end too. At the very beginning, it's why I made a tweet saying like, we're only a month in and I can't believe people are already coming up with conspiracy theories. Well, I'll confirm that one. You know who's making them? Once again, one of the people I was suspecting since the beginning, because we got confirmation later about it. They were making some of those posts. They were doing some of those things. I even caught them a year ago on one of their accounts, and I know what their account is now. It fucking sucks. It really fucking sucks. And through all of this, too, that's why if I was to go further with it, I know it would also just be a shutdown because people would not want to know that the people that they enjoy maybe did things like this. That's why, once again, if you guys are listening, if the people who have felt threatened by my end witnessing these things for all of these years, if you feel threatened right now, especially that I just acknowledged I still have everything, by the way. I'm not stupid. I remember what happened, and it's proven. There is evidence of it happening, whether you like it or not. I'm not saying these things because I'm doing this as active threat. I'm saying it as, this is why you need to shut the fuck up and leave us alone already. Knock it the fuck off. I have had the patience for you guys for this many years. I have let you guys lie about me, say whatever the fuck you wanted about me to get me hurt. I let you do whatever you wanted to do, blacklisting, whatever the fuck. I let you guys run wild with it. I'm not fucking doing this shit. I'm at least going to acknowledge what happened to me. Be thankful I'm not naming the names. Be thankful I'm not going all out, because I don't want to fucking go that far still. I don't want to be petty with this. I hate what happened to my end. I feel fucking stupid for it, but that's why time has passed. Maybe they're improving. I don't know. They don't fucking talk to me. It's always a performance, like I said. The only time they talk to me is if they're going to do, like, some post in front of everybody else to make it look like we're still talking when we're not. But there you go. There's where things are at, guys. And if you're wondering why this year specifically was such a headache, doing videos again last year was a reset button for a lot of the audience. Not to mention, I think you guys know what the state of things politically in the U.S. is right now. I got to have some people disown me this year purely for the fact that I was gay. In fact, I got to have some people recently say things like, man, it's too bad all you're fucking doing is bringing it up constantly, making it your identity. I fucking bring it up less than anybody I know of. In fact, when people found out I was gay back at the office, it was literally months and months after working there already, and it came up because everyone was sharing photos of, like, cam girls, and I ended up just saying, like, I mean, I wouldn't know on this one. I'm gay, so, like, I'm not getting anything out of this. And it was a quick thing, and everyone going, oh, okay. But then, after they finished their conversation, kind of looking at me weird, and then a week passes, and I'm contacted by 3 different people going, yeah, he's saying that he felt really betrayed when he found out that you were gay. And then I get to hear from someone else saying, oh yeah, that guy that just contacted you about that, he felt betrayed too that you were gay. So basically what I got to find out from everybody was, oh yeah, once they found out that you were gay, they all got really upset and angry behind the scenes for it, and now they're mad at you for it.
Big tournament, go!
And then I got to have awkward situations, like having somebody say, like, hey, when I invited you by at that convention, it's not because I want to have sex with you or anything. Like, yeah, that's nice. What the fuck are you doing?
Why is that where your mind went?
Yeah, why is that where you went? And once again, I talked about a lot of this back at the time. You guys just didn't want to listen. And when I say you guys, if you feel like that is a direct strike at you, might be. Because I think if you weren't here for it, you wouldn't hear that and go, he's blaming me? I think you would know. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about the people who also have understood the stuff and have helped us out through all this. I'm not talking about the few friends who have actually stuck by.
People who have a fucking guilty conscience have a fucking guilty conscience.
Go!
We've had at least a couple of friends. Only a couple. It is such a small number of people, but we've at least had a few people really sticking by through all of this. Some have even admitted the mistakes they made. Some are only going to do it in a private setting because, well, hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I don't want to get... I saw what happened to you guys. I don't want that to happen to me. But anyone who's actually been genuinely supportive or have been listening all this time, thank you. Seriously, fucking thank you. I'm glad to anyone who actually was there because, yes, I felt like I was losing my goddamn sanity through this. Because I was basically being told every step of the way why I need to hurt myself more and more and more. It all sucks. I'm sorry that this is where so much is at. I really wish on my end I could have done more. I know Julian gets to hear that from my end constantly. I still have nightmares where I get to feel guilty about this shit that I wish I could have done more. I really wish I could have done something. But I was never going to be the right person to do something. I was never going to be heard. And on my own end, too, I was letting myself just accept guilt on so much shit that I wasn't going to be able to make anything happen anyways. Once again, imagine living your life this way, that you are speaking fact. You are directly bringing up real things, and on a daily basis, literally every single person you say it to insists it's not real or they tune you out. I felt like I was going nuts. It sucked. Sounds like a weird form of stealing. I mean, there was one point where I got yelled at because I was doing something and I was being told I can't do things like that. I remember being told at one point, whether I like it or not, all of this stuff is my responsibility. So that did a good job of like guilting me even harder. The idea of you can't go anywhere because whether you like it or not, people are going to associate you with all of these different people. So anything you do reflects everybody else. So therefore you can't do anything. I got told that, and not by one person. I got to be told that by like 7 different people, the idea of you can't do what you want to do because what about everyone else? What if they start treating us weird because you're not hanging out with us anymore, or you're not acknowledging things like, or you are acknowledging things like this? I should say more so acknowledging things. I can't think of anything I was gonna not acknowledge. I was fine to acknowledge everything, and that's what I constantly had complaints about. Yeah, exactly right there. Was it part of a bit or something? Can I call it out? Because I'll call it out. I don't even want to be mean about this necessarily, but I'll fucking do it. I may as well just say it. And Julian, you're here too. You can say it as well, because Julian has wanted to... He's already acknowledged it on his stream.
I'm sorry that I'm half asleep.
It's
it probably
okay.
takes away some of the potency of it.
We didn't expect Matt to come by because Matt actually has not been communicating with me for a while. Matt will only come in on occasion for like weird public stuff to show that we're still talking, but he rarely will ever respond to messages that I send. And on Julian's end, he hasn't even like tried to reach out to him.
Matt literally hasn't talked to me since before we left LA, right? Like,
I think so.
Probably around the Dream Daddy time.
And he was trying to make it into a thing too of like, well, it's because Julian I know is mad at me, but he's mad because he was the one that showed us the Dream Daddy build. The reason Matt has been doing this performance publicly is because he doesn't want to acknowledge what happened. And it's in the past, it's over with. But man, with all the damage it fucking did, and that every step of the way I was telling him how much this was hurting us, it's why it hurt. It hurt a lot to be in a spot like that. Matt, I'm sorry. On one end, I'm acknowledging it here publicly, but at the same time, it's in the past anyways. It already went by. You apologized to my end for it. But you also apologize behind the scenes because I know you don't want people to actually understand what had happened to you. We were even going to hang out with him in LA, and he kind of went back on a lot of it, and then I just wasn't receiving messages.
A lot of it. You're still trying to...
I know. I'm trying to be friendly
cushion
about it. I'm trying to be friendly about it because I don't want to fucking have a fight. That's why when he did that, it was like, come on, don't do this. You're deliberately trying to make this awkward because you're hoping I'm not going to talk about this stuff. The reason we saw Dream Daddy is because Matt sent us the build. And a lot of the people at the office were talking to us about it too. I could go through names. One of them specifically showed me like a fucking 80-paragraph email he was going to be sending off to them and said like, yeah, so I've been listing all these complaints too. So if you're going to be saying something on stream, here, read over this because we could probably get on the same wavelength. I had everybody coming to me one by one saying like, so if you're going to talk about it, here's what you should bring up. Matt went out for ramen with me and Chris the night before I brought it up. He insisted it didn't happen when everybody was there. Julian, you were there for it.
Yeah, physically I was there, like literally in person.
And not only that, I even remember what happened was we were getting into an argument about it because I was telling Julian, I'm scared. I'm scared to talk about this publicly because I know this is not worth it. He was getting mad because he wanted to talk about it because he said, everyone at the office is mad. Everybody's getting hurt by this. They're all coming to us because they're too scared to say something themselves. And as we were having our argument, outside the window, we could hear them coming up to the door because they just arrived. They went, hello? You guys in there? And we went, uh-oh. Hello? We shouted it out the window. They went, hey! They were at our doors, so we had to drop our conversation. We went out. During that time that we went out then, on my phone, I was being sent messages of like things I should list off, things I should say. So that's why if any of it sounded out of character, it's because it was. I was trying to speak up for a lot of people there. So that's why, if you guys are wondering about that one with Matt doing all the subscriptions, it's why Matt, seriously, contact me back. I'm refunding you on those. I'm mad that you also did them as subscriptions because that makes this harder. That means Twitch gets that money. So I'm just going to be paying you money out of my pocket, but I don't care. I don't like that you did that. I wish we could have been friends. I'll say that too with Matt. I guess that's why I'm still trying to be sort of friendly about this, even though at the same time it's kind of hard to. I would have liked to have been friends with Matt. Julian watched. I was very desperate. I kept laying down and doing these things of being apologetic when I shouldn't have been because I was just so desperate to be able to go back to hanging out again. They blew us off for a solid year. When they said they weren't going to, they blew us off for a solid year in LA after this happened. And afterwards, when I talked to them finally about it, I finally got to have Matt acknowledge that, yes, he was doing that because he didn't want to get in trouble himself. He said he at least admitted later on to, like, Aaron about everything that, yes, he did show us it. Yes, he told us about it. And once again, you guys wouldn't know any of this, would you? Because this was completely behind the scenes. The only thing that was up front in public was that we initially said something, and it got to be bizarre and weird, which is why for so many years you guys were insisting, I guess these guys are just weird, and they just do things to be erratic. No, it's because people were just trying to cover this up the entire time. The reason that people were even trying to, like, keep us happy was just so we wouldn't say anything. Once again, half the people we knew were paranoid about anything ever coming out about the things they were doing behind the scenes. That's why, Matt, I would have liked to have been friends. I would have liked to have hung out. That LA trip for me was kind of the final confirmation of you're too prioritizing, like, of your work, that you're not going to listen to us. What's important for you is kind of the public appearance and not actually being there as friends. And that's too bad, because I can't do that. I can't be friends with a character. I'm sorry it had to be this way, because if you didn't do that, Matt, I actually wouldn't have brought this up this way. But yeah, the 150 subscriptions, I think it was sort of a performative thing to go alongside that. I haven't heard from him in a couple of months now. Not that I haven't tried. I reached out to him. He just didn't respond. When we were in LA, he wanted to hang out, and I told him where we were. I said, just send me a message whenever you can hang out. Never sent a message. So that's why, even with that, it's a frustrating thing. And the thing is, I understand it too, because he's busy with work. That's what he's prioritizing. But that's why on my own end, I don't really want to prioritize that for myself. I already got hurt by this, and I'm not being shown that anything's going to go any differently here. So I don't want to be a part of it. But yeah, sorry, I didn't want to necessarily give that context, but it's true. People are coming in saying, like, so are the 150 subs a bit? You know what I'll say about all these bits? The same thing I said earlier. Early on when we were doing stuff, I remember when, and I'm not saying one or two people, a ton of people wanted to stage having a big fake fight. And I didn't think anything of it at the time. I thought it was a joke. But what I had to realize afterwards was, I get why we're doing this. We're having a fake fight, so whenever we have a real fight, nobody can tell the difference. And that's why somebody would come in and see that and go, oh, I guess the 150 subscriptions were like a bit. It was like a comedy bit. No, it was awkwardness is what it was. That's what that was. I'm sorry, Matt. I am. I didn't want to put you on the spot like this. I really didn't.
Tournament, go!
But once again, you kind of did it to yourself by hopping in here. I would have liked to have been friends, and there was just no way I think this was ever going to work. And it goes for a lot of this. I feel bad for a lot of it still, because it's like, I didn't want this all to go this way. If you guys are wondering why I still had all that guilt, it's because of feelings like that, where it's like, I don't want this to go wrong. I mean, they're mad at me. And if they're mad at me, then it means I'm doing something bad. When in most cases, it's they're mad at you because you're acknowledging how they're hurting you. If you want these things to work out, they expect you to lay down and shut up and just keep getting yourself hurt. And that's why with this one, at least on Matt's end, he hasn't done anything like heinous since any of that happened. I'm still very disappointed that he's putting on a show publicly about it. I'm mad that he couldn't even acknowledge to people that he did that. But I get it. It's because he wanted to save himself. That's why I said he wasn't the only one. Literally everybody that told us to speak up about it threw us under at the time. Everyone. Literally everyone. Julian, you could say that too, right? I can't think of anybody. I can't think of a single soul.
No, even the one who showed you his big email turned out he didn't end up sending it.
Yep, he didn't even send it. He was just trying to get me to say something. It was a disaster internally. And if you guys were wondering why some of them were starting to make nice publicly with me, it's because I just accepted all the fault for it. And they kind of went, all right, well, he's had his power taken away from him, so I guess he's safe now. I guess we can act like things are all right. Well, yeah, the damage was done, and it fucking sucked, because the damage was done. I'm not kidding, we are blacklisted in a few places now after all of this shit. I got to see messages that they were going around and trying to do stuff behind the scenes. And when I say they, I'm not talking about Matt here. I'm talking about lots of just other people. Even surprisingly, someone I knew prior from game work, like a project I was working on. But yeah, we've been blacklisted heavily. We got sabotaged left and right after all of this. It's why our viability is like nothing. We have like no chance at anything. I shouldn't say that. I always tell Julian he does. Because people always lump this onto my end. Even if a lot of this was his own feelings and I was trying to be there for him. A lot of people have lumped this exclusively onto my end. So I know on my end, things are pretty much fucked. No matter what I do or what I make or no matter what I say, it's not going to matter from this point forward. Until the end of time. Well, not end of time. Until I'm gone.
Until your death.
Yes. Which we even talked about this. Julian has an audio recording on his phone. I gave him permission that when I die, he's fine to just say everything. So anyone who is racing for me to also have my health fail so I die so I never say anything, there's a warning to you guys too. If you're hoping that that meant the truth would die with me, no, it won't. It'll be right out there. So, yeah, if you're hoping that I was going to kill myself a few years back, oops, miscalculation, oopsies.
Guess what, fellas? I am not as nice as Ding Dong is.
It's true, you're not. Even here right now, I'm trying to be friendly still. I'm still trying to have a little bit of a middle ground going.
I will have no mercy.
He was so excited when I gave him the permission that he said, I am not going to let them fucking forget any of this. And I told him, I wouldn't be happy about that, obviously. I don't want to be vengeful in any way about this. It's why this whole thing has sucked for me. I hate being in this position to begin with. I fucking hate that this whole time all I was trying to do was help people out. It's why I spoke up about it. It fucking sucks when a bunch of people are yanking you around telling you to say something because it's helping them, and then they get mad at you for doing exactly what they told you to do. It blows. Why would anyone wish suicide upon anyone? Because it could benefit them. That was the story I just told earlier. It wasn't even specifically the idea of you should commit suicide. I had just attempted it. Literally, like, I'd say maybe just a few, maybe 10 hours, 11 hours prior. It was pretty recent that I had just attempted it. I brought it up to them, and that was the first thing they thought to respond with was, yeah, but wouldn't it be funny, though, if somebody did leave a note? Because, like, if you blamed, like, them for it, if you blamed, like, these two people, if you said, like, Aaron and Susie on that note, then, like, everybody would hate them, and they'd be, like, ruined. It wasn't a joke. It was about viability. Okay, so now that you spoke up, no one's ever going to listen to you two again, but hey, if you killed yourself because of them, man, that would be a pretty powerful tool, wouldn't it? That'd be great. Yeah, your viability in life has run out. You fucking suck now, but hey, if you died, oh.
I can still squeeze a bit of use out of you.
I'm trying not to cry. I feel fucking weak for that. It should be making me almost getting to the verge of tears. But I still hate that it happened. And I was supposed to pretend that didn't happen. I was supposed to act like that was fine. What a night. And that's why if you guys are going to start getting mad at Matt, don't. I'm disappointed in him, but that's why I was even being a little bit gentle here. I'm disappointed, but I get it. He cares about his brand. He cares about viability. Business is a focus for him, and a lot of these people, it's what they're trying to prioritize. They handle socializing totally different. I don't fit into any of that, whatever. I know in some kind of bizarre way I don't understand Matt's still kind of trying to be a friend, but I also know it's more towards, like, creative work and, like, public image than it is about interacting heavily because we don't. I've tried to. Even this year, I got excited about it. The LA trip, we thought we were going to go hang out with them, and it didn't happen at all. Matt is like the lesser end of this, and that's what I at least want you guys to know.
Tournament go.
But I also would want you to know that with all the absurd shit you've been hearing, also keep that in mind. Yes, it was bad that happened. I'm mad that happened. I'm mad.
But that it's like the least offensive
yes,
thing.
it's the least offensive out of any of it. And at least on Ryan's end, I'm not mad at Ryan. Ryan was direct with me the whole time, which I really appreciate. I'm glad he was. He very directly told me, I think everyone is going to overreact if you guys say something about it. It's not fair, but they're probably going to. I don't want to go back to working a shitty job. I'm fine where I'm at right now, and I would hate to lose this just because of something like this. I hope you guys can at least consider if this is even really worth it or not, because it's what I even told Ryan was, I don't personally think it is. I think this game is going to be totally irrelevant in a few months anyways, and if anything, if we say something, that's what's going to give it relevancy. I don't necessarily think it is worth it. But Julian, for good reason, was getting upset about it, because when you have everybody in this office telling you they're miserable, not exaggerating, nearly everybody there on a daily basis telling us how miserable they are because this is being prioritized above everybody else, yeah, it makes you feel like shit. It makes you want to do something to help. I'm disappointed with Matt's end on all of this. It's out there now, but that's what I'd also say is it's been out there. Julian actually mentioned it like a year ago. It's just nobody listened because, once again, nobody has been listening to us this whole time. But that's why I'm at Matt's end. Matt, if you're upset that I just put it out there, keep in mind it has been out there, and that's why it didn't impact you.
No, I was
it doesn't matter.
Talking about it like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes, it literally does not matter. It never did. You could have just been open about it. You didn't have to be the way you were about it. I'm disappointed you were. But yeah, it never mattered. People weren't going to listen anyways. Matt, if you even acknowledged it, I bet they wouldn't even believe you. I bet they would have been like, yeah, right. They did it. Come on. It was all them. I bet that would have happened. But that's why I'm telling you guys, you don't have to go hard on him for it. I'm disappointed in it, but it happened. And whatever, it happened. That's why this thing here on stream was kind of awkward, because it's a thing of like, no, this weird public performance thing about awkward, distant, vague friendliness is not going to cut it here tonight. And once again, Matt, tell me how much you spent on those subscriptions. I'll refund them to you. I wish you hadn't done that. It's why I even said earlier on stream, like, I'm going to have to refund that 150 subscriptions. How much money is that? I don't even know if we have that much money.
It's $5 per, so.
I'm going to have to see how much that is. I don't know if we do. We might not have that much money in the bank to refund that. And because it was subscriptions, that makes it harder. But yeah, I don't want you guys to go after him. And that's why, Matt, even if you're upset about me saying something with this, at least know, I don't want people to go after you. I'm just somebody who can't fucking deal with this shit anymore. I can't do the lying. I never could. I'm going to be honest about it. Because ultimately, it still impacts our end more than it impacts yours. We were the ones that decided to go and, say what we did. But, yeah. Once again, if you guys want to keep spreading a public narrative that we had people defending us, we did not. We did not at all. Not one bit. And once again, the day after the suicide attempt, I seriously was even being pushed towards doing it. That it would be more viable for me to be dead than it would be for me to be alive. I wish I was kidding about that. It's okay. I've been told over and over again, really, that didn't happen. Too bad Julian was there for it. Too bad it fucking did. It's really hard to gaslight someone when you have someone else there to have witnessed all of it. I'm kind of thankful for that. Julian and I did set a rule for ourselves early on. We wanted to do everything together. And I'm kind of glad we did do this together, even though ultimately it was so miserable.
Yeah.
I'm glad we did it together, because by being there together, we were both able to perceive it and witness all of it. If it was just one of us, I bet I would have gone insane legitimately. I think I would have. I had people denying things like literally hours after they would happen sometimes. I probably would have gone insane if Julian was not here. Misfit, it's why I don't know if I even want to phrase it as faking it. I think in his own way that is him thinking he's making up for a lot, but once again, he's just too lost in work. It's just going to make this too difficult. I've tried to have conversations with him about it before, but last time I did, he kept doing a thing going, yeah, awesome, cool, dude. When it's like, thanks, that you're not even listening.
I remember.
Fucking chaotic stream, huh? And guys, I'm sorry about everyone who got gifted a sub. I'm going to have to figure that one out with Matt. And once again, Matt, I know you're probably going to be really mad. But, I mean, you were mad even back at the time when technically you were the one that gave us the build to begin with. Now you're going to get mad about it that I said what happened. I know you were hoping for probably the end of time, I imagine, that you didn't want anybody to know any of that. But at the same time, too, this shit's gotten too performative. I'm going to have to force some realism into your life here if you're not going to allow for it. You're not going to listen to us when we try to talk to you. You're not going to acknowledge this for how severe it was. I'm sorry, once again, that this is out here publicly, but it's also why I said, too, Julian's already acknowledged it years ago that you sent it to us publicly. It didn't matter. So if you're going to do a thing of, oh, my career's ruined, nobody fucking cares.
Yeah, no, it's just not going to matter.
Nobody gives a flying fuck. If anything, people are going to be mad at us for it, so don't worry about it, Matt. But I do want to get you your money back on that, Matt. I do want to get you your money back on that. I think they did a video where someone took the original couch. I assume this was a separate couch. I'm not sure which one this was, because I never watched Game Grumps. Julian had some familiarity with it, but I literally didn't know much about it at all. Only a handful of things from things I heard from other people. That's why I wasn't starstruck going in there to begin with. And that's why I immediately established rules for myself of don't talk to anybody unless they talk to you. Don't get yourself tangled up in anything. I was already very hesitant because I also knew this guy came from Newgrounds, and I know what Newgrounds is, and I know how they behaved. I remember what his reviews used to look like, how much he would lash out at other animators and everything, too. I also remember that a lot of the other Newgrounds people who were acting like this guy is the, root of all evil, acted the exact same way and were trying to imitate him. And it's this weird thing of they want to kind of copy him and replace him and, kill him. Which is what they were doing. There was an active effort. That's why there's so many vague comments taking shots at him in videos. They do it to a lot of people, by the way. Constantly. Taking vague shots at people over and over and over again. They did it to us, too. They did it to another situation. And a lot of people found out about it later and figured out, oh, that's what that meant. I didn't really get it, but now I get it. Yeah, they've been doing that for a long time. If there's something they say in a video that doesn't make a lot of sense, they're probably referencing an actual person that they're hoping to hurt through one of their videos. That was why they brought up the tuba thing in the one video. That was them trying to take a shot at me. And they were trying to expose people to the fact that I was a furry. Then a few months later asking me if I'll record with them again. Which maybe was even partially trying to test the waters of, did you see when I called you out in front of everybody and tried to get you hurt? No, I didn't. I only found out about that one very recently. Like I said, only a year and a half ago did I find out about that one. 2 years ago, maybe? I think it was a year and a half ago. I only recently found out about that one and just couldn't believe it. That it was just there the whole time. And they had the nerve to keep trying to say over and over again to Julian and I how bad we are. And it was always that phrasing, you're a bad person. Uh-huh. Okay. No, it was, like I said, it was maddening at its absolute worst. We were very heavily trapped when we were back in LA. It was a goddamn miracle we were able to move away. Because he said in 2020 or 2021, I think it was 20. When was it? Was it 2021 or 2022? It's because we got asked. Anytime that we ever went back to record, it's because we got asked. That's why I could also tell when they were going out of their way to try to spread rumors. Trying to go out there and say things like, I bet they're doing it because they're greedy and they just want money. No, we got asked every single time. It's why it was really goofy the last time that we did record, because months later, after getting angry about stuff, they also brought up the idea of like, I never had problems with anybody else before, and it was so much easier. And I got to realize that you guys made everything so much more difficult, where I then had to follow up by going, then why did you ask me to record with you again? If everything was going so much better, then why were you just telling me that you're not gelling with any of these people and you don't like doing this, and that's why you want to record with us again? Are you just saying that because you're angry in the heat of the moment right now? Why did you even ask me to do this again then? And by the way, if I ever told people publicly that we got asked to record, that seemed to make them very angry too. There's definitely an angle they want this to like kind of come at. They want this to look a certain way to people. And part of the reason I was keeping my head down was because they just took things so fucking far that I just didn't want to set them off even further. People hated us. People were not going to change their mind on any of it. And considering it's a crowd that kind of loved the fact that we got hurt anyways, there was no way you were going to convince anybody of anything. No one was going to care, even if you did convince them. If anything, they think it's funny, and they're glad that it happened. But that was why we went back and recorded. I wanted people to at least be able to have some like fun videos to kind of go out on. But simultaneously, it was a messy one. We got asked to do it completely on the spot, and apparently all the editors weren't contacted about it either. Nobody knew what the fuck was going on. It was abrupt and completely out of nowhere that we got contacted on this one. In fact, one of the people who was working for the channel was paranoid we were trying to replace them, and I had to tell them, like, man, we used to talk when you were first working on all of this, and I was on your side, because you noticed how often this would happen, that they would start lashing out at everybody and blaming everybody else for the things that they would do. Why would I want to go back to this? No, we weren't trying to replace you. I don't even fully understand what really happened here, because it was all so goddamn abrupt. But it was a weird one, because initially I was kind of on the fence about it. I was in the middle about it, especially because they started going, and I could buy a computer, and I could have it over there, and I could come by all the time. And I said, no, we're not doing that. You're not going to get comfortable with this and that you bring us back into all of this and we start doing all this again. Absolutely not. We want to be working on our own projects. I'm not going to be losing time for that right now. Julian, it was a hard no. Then discussions kind of took place. There were terms and conditions and rules and everything that we were trying to establish to actually allow it to flow smoothly, rather than how things went in the past, where it was things just kind of randomly go and everyone else has to pick up the pieces. We wanted to schedule, we wanted to figure everything out, especially that we said this needs to take 2 weeks. We will do it. It will be 2 weeks and nothing beyond that. We record everything. We give you everything. We even bought a portable hard drive. They refused to use the portable hard drive and they left it where we were anyway. So we wasted money on a portable hard drive. They kept insisting that we have to use Dropbox and everything. I mentioned it before, but I could tell they went through one of Julian's private books because they blurted out a thing that was in one of them during one of the videos. They were trying to give me a hard time for the furry stuff in a couple of videos that we did with them anyways, and I actually just didn't notice it because I really did tune them out. They were repeating it over and over again in the same tone of voice, and I was just talking to Julian and didn't even pay any attention to it because I kind of just didn't care. I was trying to be in high spirits, but part of being in high spirits was, okay, this person's ridiculous and you know that they are, and they're going to be just kind of, doing the same thing that they're doing, and you don't have to feed into any of it. Try to have a good time, because ultimately here, I want to give people at least something like entertaining. I want to give people a good time, even if this person just wants to give everyone like a miserable time. One of the rules that we had established immediately was, don't bring up intense political shit here. Don't try to get drama stuff going or bring up lol cows or whatever. Let's just try to focus on having a good time with the games that we're playing. And immediately, first recording session, bringing up problem with a poo, fucking years later. And afterwards, we had to go into that saying, you did it. You did exactly what you said you weren't going to do. You talked about a thing that we didn't really want to be talking about, and you're trying to make it now that because we're on the couch with you, we're now aligned with all of this, and we're going with all of it. It was very awkward. And that was the issue with all of it when we arranged it too. It's supposed to be for 2 weeks. It most certainly was not 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks for the actual trip part of it in the recording, but because there was so little communication with the editors and everything, it ended up being a month-long process, like more than a month, a few months, trying to get everything organized with them, and because they refused to take the hard drive with them, I had to tediously upload things to Dropbox, which would take forever, and our internet would cut out because if people remember our streams back where we used to live at the time, monsoons constantly that would knock out the power. Our Pokemon live streams we had done at the time were fucking cursed because there were so many thunderstorms that cut out our internet and power entirely, sometimes for like a couple of days. And because that was happening, that also made all the people that were working on the editing end thinking that I was just making things up when I wasn't. And that I remember specifically one of them lashed out at me in the group chat at one point going, yeah, so how's that oh so real Pokemon video going right now? And my response was just, yeah, hi. And it took like a day for them to finally go, oh, I mean, like, I'm sorry if I came at you kind of hard with that one, but I mean, you got to admit at the same time, man. And I was just like, no, I don't. We told you what our situation was, and I don't think you care. And eventually I was shown a screenshot where it was very absent-minded, the screenshot that they showed me. Because what they're trying to show me was like, oh, yeah, see, they're asking for this one file. One of the other people who was in the group. I got showed the screenshot, and I'm seeing every last person who's like on the editing team trash-talking us incessantly, making shit up about us, freaking the fuck out and getting paranoid about us, and insulting us every step of the way and going, ha 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 ha, wow. And it was just like, what the fuck is this? I didn't do anything to any of you guys. I haven't been talking to any of you guys. I'm about as clueless on all of this, too. And you immediately blame us and try to drop all of your fucking problems onto us. This is why we didn't want to come back to doing this kind of thing. Jesus Christ. That's why it wasn't like, well, at least there was an answer down the middle. No, there wasn't. The answer was we're outsiders again, so treat it like everything is our fault when we're kind of the only reason some of this was even moving. We got as much done as we did because we did have a schedule. We picked the games we did because we seriously filled up an entire notebook and made like keys and symbols and everything to represent, hey, this game would take actually just a single playthrough. This would have to be multi-part. This one features this kind of thing. This is a good game to talk over. We went through all this effort. We did so much just to try to make it move. And through the entire thing, everybody was treating us like dog shit. It was extremely frustrating, and it's why we're never, ever, ever going to do anything like that again. And then, of course, like what I said, I just found out recently, like a year and a half back, I didn't know I was being called out for being a furry in videos when I wasn't even on the channel. Literally, like, just a few months before I got asked to record again. I didn't realize it. But it's a whole messy thing. A very big messy thing. We tried as hard as we could anyways. Call him out every time during that last... Julian had absolutely no patience for it, and that was what happened initially was, on me, I was in the middle on it. I wasn't sure about really doing it. On one end, I did tell people, maybe we'll come back later on. And it was a huge maybe, because the thing that we needed to see was there was actual improvement here. Can you be a little more professional about this? Can you be a little more respectful about this? The answer was no. But we didn't find that out until we did it. Julian, it was a hard no. And the more that we talked about it, and the more we're figuring out schedule and everything, it turned into Julian actually saying yes, and I was shocked by it. Because at the very last moment, actually, I started saying no. I felt like this would actually be a huge mistake. But you guys know how difficult our living situation has been and everything, too. We're barely getting by and everything. We were really struggling. There was some kind of justification to it when it came to that, well, be, enough here for Julian to see some worth to it, that if he can really actually hold this down and be respectful and actually improve... And didn't really. They seemed furious with any of the games that we actually suggested, even if I was going to play it and put all the time down onto it. Yeek, for example, I was playing that off camera, constantly. I was grinding, I was doing all this stuff for it. Similar to how Kingdom Hearts, Julian was doing all of that. He was grinding off camera and doing all this other stuff to make it possible. No, we pushed ourselves really hard. While they were just laying in our bed the whole time. And sleeping during the daytime and staying up all night. And we would hear them rustling around and doing whatever the fuck in the bedroom. I mentioned it that one of the days when we did play Yeek, they went into the bathroom and turned on the fan and went on their phone and said how it was going to be a video that was going to do really badly, and it seemed like he was really mad. And hoping that we weren't going to hear him, except he doesn't know our house. That fan doesn't cover shit. We heard the whole thing. We caught him on his phone using 4chan, and he said he was just using the comedy threads, except I saw the thread that he was looking at. It was related to somebody he works with. We saw there wasn't really improvement. He didn't really go with a lot of the stuff that he had promised. Some of those videos are kind of a goddamn miracle. I think Panic is a really good example. I edited that one together, and after I did and I sent it over to them, I remember even getting met with like, oh, I didn't think you were going to use that one. I know you didn't. I know you were intentionally trying to stay in a bad mood for all of it and not say anything, but yeah, we ended up using it. That Pokemon one was similar. That's why Julian and I are talking a lot by the end of that one, but it's just us talking by the end of that one. It used to happen in older stuff too, but yeah, I didn't notice any of it because I also didn't watch a lot of those. I thought it read very clearly that at least we're like being funnier here and we're a little more confident. We're at least trying to be ourselves a little bit more. But I guess that is what people were taking in, because I did even see it back at the time that people had brought up like, oh my God, yeah, like they're like calling him out a lot and everything. It seems like none of them are really getting along, which is surprising. I remember I was like giggling like crazy during all of it. I thought I was in high spirits, but yeah, no, I picked up on it. I was in high spirits when I got to talk to Julian. It was, I think it was pretty obvious that there was tension between everybody. And that was why there was tension between everybody. And that finale thing was not supposed to be announced in any kind of way anyways. He had made the insistence that we have to do a big finale thing. He wanted to do it with Kingdom Hearts way back at the time, too, and kept trying to hype that up, and there was no real, genuine, big finale. We didn't get to do the idea that we had because it was too elaborate, and he didn't feel like actually dedicating the time to go do it. But the same thing happened. With the Yeek finale, he at least rendered a little bit, like a 30-second animation of just, like, Alex getting out of his bed. But, and he put hamburgers over a loading screen. The finale that he was planning on was just going to be literally the previous episode again, because the editor seriously cut it off right at the end of the game. That kind of is the finale, I think. I think that's fine as a finale compared to what was about to happen. That it was going to just be the same video again, but with a couple of new video edits put on top of it. And then we just sit on the title screen and just kind of ramble for 20 minutes. I don't think people would have been happy about that. That's why I wanted to do something. When he suggested the idea of doing some kind of like flashy finale for it, I was kind of down for it. I said, yeah, I could figure out something on that one, because it's not great where that ended. Julian wanted absolutely nothing to do with it, and I don't blame him. But that was what then happened. I reverse engineered the game. I was able to figure out where all of the game's like script files were. I found like test cutscenes that were even in the game's code. And I was able to go in and repurpose cutscenes and everything. I still have video clips of it. I had posted them even back at the time, way back. I posted some fake cutscenes I made in the game engine by just modifying it. And I did all that because I said, hey, look at that. I tried to make it really easy here. I know you're busy with stuff and everything, and you don't have a lot of time for this kind of thing. I mean, we're really busy with a lot too, but I reverse engineered all of it. You don't even have to render anything. We can really save a lot of trouble here. We could just write a script down. I can embed it into the game engine, and we can just put some audio over it, and that's all we have to do. And they're just like, yeah, you get on that. I got asked to drop the summer resort game I was doing at the time. Like everything we were putting together that videotape show at the time too. Got asked to drop all of that because they said, I'm really mad because, everyone keeps bringing this up again and everything. And I said too, because you told people about it and you keep telling people about it. No one wanted you to go make a big deal of this either. And if anything, it's starting to feel like you're doing this because you're trying to, like, keep us held on to. And I do think that was the intention. I think the finale was supposed to be a thing of keeping us stalled out and, like, continuously as a factor here, which is why every single time it got brought up after the first time, it always had to be some vague kind of insult slung towards our direction, like we messed everything up. And I can also speak to this. I did get to see there was a direct image board post that I'm pretty sure came right from him to insist that we messed up the entire thing. Which, if you guys follow us and if you know anything about us, no, we commit ourselves very hard to the things we do. It's why I put up with all that to play Yeek to begin with, even when the game froze and even with all the grinding, and that's why I reverse engineered the game. No, I put a lot of effort in, actually. It was really unfortunate. And it's why it took someone having to donate money for them to eventually say that there was no finale. And having kind of their mannerisms slip out a bit, being a little bit backhanded to people over that. For example, the slanty smiley face thing is being done sarcastically whenever it's being done. Just something to take note of, I guess. But, yeah, a lot of scapegoating on that one, too. You know, I was the one who wanted to play Yeek to begin with. I was the one who was putting up with all of it, too, when there were all these moments of impatience and wanting to drop it. Once again, retreating into the bathroom and going on the phone, saying it was going to do horrible as a series. It's really fucking weird to be put into a spot like that where you bust your ass on, like, everything for it and make that into a thing, just to then be blamed for, like, how it's all been ruined when it was the thing that you were doing to begin with anyways. It was really fucking strange. He even messaged me at one point getting into, you know, I kind of took the fall on that one for you guys. Where it's like, no, you didn't. You were pointing at us every step of the way. And that was what I got to hear about a year and a half back, like I had mentioned. Not going to say who it is, but a YouTuber was messaging me because he still actively watches their videos. And he brought up, like, do you know he's been doing this? And they sent me a clip that they had isolated of it where he's making vague comments going like, hey guys, we're going to do a really big finale and it's going to be great and everything. Oh, just kidding. You're just insulting yourself right now. You're the one who told everybody about it and made it into a big deal. I gave you opportunities to help out here. You just didn't want to. Even when we had our last talk about doing that finale, he acted like we dropped the ball on it and everything, and then said, it was not that you dropped the ball. You had the ball, and the ball disappeared. I remember Julian even kind of scoffing at that, just being like, so you're saying we dropped the ball? But I remembered bringing up, like, do you want me to go get the old messages that we had? Because I was working on it with you, and then you just kind of stopped responding after I dropped everything to make time for it. And they seemed really resistant against the idea of me doing that, but I did. I went back and I got the logs, and I pinned them and everything, too. And I was like, no, see, right here. I'm talking to you. There's me getting it all going with you. I'm figuring everything out with you. You show me the little snippet of animation that you had already done. I'm talking to you about all the scripting stuff. You're telling me that I should be handling the script. And then you disappeared for a long period of time and then said you were, like, taking a trip back home to visit family. And then nothing ever came of it ever since that point. I get a suspicion that he kind of did just want me to drop whatever we were working on at the time. I don't think he wanted necessarily to really get that done. I don't know. Because in the past, he also told me to stop streaming when we kind of needed to be able to stay afloat. But yeah, we came back because we wanted to at least be able to give people some entertaining, like, finales to go off of, finish some series that never got finished before. We wanted to actually treat some of the people who at least missed just having kind of good times here to something a little bit better. But it was hard to do, and it was very hard to maintain. And through all of it, we just don't fit in with what it is that he's going for or what he wants. I think that was just the biggest issue of all. But going back to why did you do it? Because he asked me to. Once again, anytime that I showed up on there again, it's because I got asked to. For example, that maze game that we played, I didn't even know who that other guy was. I got asked to do it. I remember we were at a Halloween party, and because we happened to be visiting everything, we were there, and I got brought inside, And then there was a begging situation of like, hey, so like, would you want to like, record, something? And it was kind of awkward because everybody else was outside wondering what was going on, that he just kind of took off. And now everyone's just kind of sitting outside while he's inside away from everyone. But yeah, every single time we would get asked. But like I said, through all this is why I don't want people to be in a position to go lash out. I don't want people to be in a position where they go, I'm not going to watch any of this anymore. If you're being amused by the antics that they've got, don't abandon that if that's what you're actually amused by. You don't have to have your fun ruined because some people who didn't fit into this anyways to begin with aren't there anymore. We haven't been for a long time. You can still have your fun and watch it and everything. I just don't want anything to do with it, obviously. Julian doesn't want anything to do with it. And none of them want anything to do with us. And I think that's completely acceptable, and that's how it probably just should have been. But no, I don't like that continuously I'd have shots taken at my end, and I was supposed to be respectful and peaceful and not say anything about any of it as we keep getting hurt over and over and over again, and we get blamed for a bunch of things that we didn't do. When, if anything, we wouldn't have had any videos there to begin with anyways if we didn't bust our asses the way that we did. Julian animating that opening while we were recording and everything, too. We were putting in as much effort as we really could. We were doing a lot. And if people are over here and you're kind of understanding that now about it, where you're like, okay, so like, I don't know, I was following you guys because of this stuff. Maybe this isn't the right place for you. Oh, hey. I'm sorry. It's okay. And that's okay if it's not.
Are you going to be all right? Because you've been up for a long time.
I'll be all right, but I had some moments earlier where it was hitting me pretty hard. I don't feel quite as bad right now, but still kind of a thing. I feel fine at the moment, though. Are you okay?
Yeah, I mean, at least we covered the overdraft.
Yeah, we did.
The stuff that you got will help for the future as well.
Yeah. Everyone helped out a lot this morning. And I definitely need to finish up reading some of that, too. Because people were asking some stuff in relation to these situations, and I'm sure I'm sure you could go on and on and on about a lot of this stuff too yourself if you had wanted.
Do you want me to? Do you want me to say things?
It's the thing I've always been worried about is I've been able to be a little more calm about these things, and I know for you it's kind of like,
for anybody that's been here listening to Dee Dee talk about this stuff, because it's like it's morning right now. There's probably not people who were here to listen to the entire conversation for hours. Dee Dee's reaction is like very, very mild compared to mine. I've like very literally gone out of my mind over this stuff. And I've always been incredibly depressed and distressed about it. These experiences made me lose my faith in humanity overall. And it makes me incredibly angry at like everybody. And so I have to constantly try to like manage myself to not be completely hopeless and completely full of rage over everything. Dee Dee's reaction is really, really, really mild compared to mine. If anybody has been here thinking that he's like a big grump or something, I'm like 1,000 times more intense about it than he is. That's what I could say right now.
Okay. Maybe
I don't know what other details.
That's why maybe we just leave it at that. Because that is the thing that I was always kind of worried about too.
My mic is not off, right? Or it is off.
Yes, that mic is off. I could turn it up if you want. But that's why I was saying too, if anyone is even just hearing all this now and just being like, man, what a whiny, no, you're in the wrong place. You're most certainly in the wrong place. I know a lot of people are really angry with us for not wanting to see these things anymore or hear about these things and feeling like it's some kind of betrayal to an audience thing, but trust me
And
on this.
also, we've also been talking about a lot of these things for years.
Yes, and people just not hearing it.
Yeah.
But no, if anything, that's why I was sometimes doing this stuff, is because I did care about the audience. I wanted to be able to give people good times despite all of this. But it became its own messy thing with that too, because no, it was being treated like I was actually hurting the audience and that I was trying to ruin everything when that stuff was being made because I was pushing myself through all of it. Once again, Yeek specifically, that was me. I picked that out. I picked that game out. I was grinding that game. I was trying to do everything I could for that one. It happened with a lot of them. I mentioned it with Panic. That almost didn't work at all. I had to go really hard Frankensteining that one together to kind of make it work. Because once again, the intention seemed to be kind of sabotage this one so we don't use it. And there's some older videos that kind of operate that way too. It was me trying really hard to just be there for everybody and trying to get people to talk to each other and try to see something down the middle and just never being able to pull it off ever. Because it just wasn't going to happen. If anything, every time that I did that, it just set myself up to get hurt again and again, because that's what an idiot. I just called him out for being a furry and he's still doing this? What a moron. It was probably a lot of that being felt. It's very unfortunate. I wish it didn't have to be this way, because like I said before, there were occasionally good times, but they were pretty few and far between. It was mostly just the stress. And trying to kind of like make the world around us feel like it was completely hopeless. That's why I'm trying to be here for Julian on a lot of this too, because it did impact him that much. He's not exaggerating with what he's saying on that either. It did impact him that badly. I don't want him to lose faith in the entire world around him because of something like this. Simultaneously, I kind of get why he was. It's really fucked up when, you know, reality is the total opposite of what people are trying to insist upon these things being, and people really want to double down and beat down on all of this too. It's really unfortunate.
What the fuck is that last option?
Sweat?
Oh, sweat. Yeah, why
Yeah,
is there
sweat.
in the game?
Did you notice that when they're losing, sweat comes out of them?
Oh,
You can turn it off.
Weird.
You can also position where the face graphic is in their like
Oh, yeah,
area.
you're right, it says.
Yeah. There's also a secret menu that you can put in a code for, but I actually didn't commit the code to memory. We played through this game 3 times. We did every difficulty. We played through like everything. We did Tetris and Dr. Mario, and we played through every last mode in it on every single difficulty. And by the way, I never did the versus mode against the computer in Dr. Mario on Super Nintendo. Without a doubt, it is the like most brutal AI I have ever witnessed in a puzzle game. It was borderline impossible. The AI in Dr. Mario reads everything perfect, scans everything perfect, moves absolutely perfect. So I had to turn it down to the lowest level to see if I could race to the finish and beat them by intentionally not letting any pieces fall to the ground because it takes too much time. At least the way that the AI was coded, they would let things fall down sometimes. And it worked. I was able to get through it, but it was hellish. But we did it. We beat a lot of games tonight. We finished Super Mario World twice, not even one time, twice. We did everything in Tetris and Dr. Mario. Did everything here in Kirby's Avalanche. So we did do a lot. Here, I'll turn your mic up because I'm gonna.
You don't have to.
Oh, are you sure?
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Say things?
No, not really. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and I want to start reading through donations and everything. And even with the talk here, I guess just the thing I want to leave people with before I go to the bathroom. Like I said, please don't make this into a big thing or anything either. I know easier said than done, but I don't want people to be in this position either that it has to become, you know, a major thing. It's why I was trying to be very respectful, even if the people around me weren't going to be respectful with any of it, and they were going to continuously try to keep getting me hurt while I would keep my head down. I was doing it because I really did want to just make it clear. I don't want to fucking fight about these things. I never did. But, like I said, too, when I found out about that thing, the furry call-out, and that was seriously just a few months before we recorded with them and everything, that was enough where I was like, you know what? I think I'm just done with this. I have no reason to be nice to this. I have no reason to be kind to this. They even just got me to buy a game and then they removed me immediately off of Steam just a little bit afterwards anyways. I'm tired of doing this kind of thing that I'm supposed to be there for somebody who literally just wants to see me get hurt over and over and over again. So that's why at least I wanted to present here at least where it was kind of coming from for our end. And here's the thing. There's two of us, one of the other person, and it really says something that despite two people having all the same stories to share, it was much more important for people to gravitate around the one person who remained vague and didn't really get into things. We were not going to ever be listened to on a lot of this. That's why even talking about this right now, if people would hope like, well, maybe if it was like out there, it's not going to. It already was out there to a certain degree, and people just made that into a bigger problem. Because of what that crowd is, because of what that audience is, because of what a lot of these creators are, they don't care about kindness. They don't care about respect. None of that matters. All of this is just going to continue further problems, and I'm really, really just done with it. We've been done with it for quite a long time. We really do want to be able to just be ourselves. And once again, easier said than done, obviously. People are still getting really angry with us that we didn't want to hear about these things, thinking it's some spiteful thing towards them, when once again, I don't know, does it make enough sense to people at this point? Why these things are a little bit uncomfortable, of people trying to kind of get us reassociated with all of it again too, when truthfully, the people that we're working with most certainly do not like that. They don't like when we have to come up again. And we also don't like being reminded of all of it again, and with the potential of, we might be talking to some kind of weird alt-righter now, because that's what a big, massive majority of so much of that audience is, because it's the tendencies, it's what they aim for, it's what they want. But I'm not going to lie about this kind of thing. It's why we've gotten hurt a lot. Not lying has done a very good job of also getting us hurt over and over and over again. I guess that's why a lot of people act in cowardice and just kind of live a life of lying and only lying. And that was also why I was trying to remain calm through a lot of this and not get that heavily into it. But it went too far. And people are trying to reignite it again as of just, like I said, like a week ago. So if you want to go watch them still, by all means. I'm not trying to do a thing here to tell you don't watch any of this stuff ever again and you need to avoid all of this. No. I'm not going to agree with people who want to prioritize this sort of thing. I'm not going to be happy about it necessarily, but at the same time, too, I'm not going to tell people things they can and cannot do when it comes to that. I don't expect people to even be, caring about us necessarily that much, because to be fair, too, who are we? I know a bunch of you guys do care, and I'm very thankful for that, because you guys have been the ones that have allowed us to survive, because nobody else around us was going to help us with these things. You guys actually did really go a long way towards helping us. There were a bunch of you who actually stood by and stuck by, and only in recent years has it been starting to make more sense to people, because a lot of the things that we had talked about in the past are kind of coming full circle here without us even being there. But yeah, I don't want there to be some big fight coming off of this. And even with, the falling out that happened, there wasn't some big fight. I didn't have a big argument with him or something. He just started removing me on things. He kicked me off of the Dropbox. He removed me on Steam right after I had bought a game to play with him one night. And I assume it's because I mentioned this before. I had talked to one of his friends who noticed that they weren't following me anymore, literally the second that it happened. They hadn't spoken to me in 7 fucking years. And then they show up conveniently off of that one. And I had to point it out to them, and I noticed too, they went back and deleted all of their old messages as well. I knew what was going on. They were trying to fish for information, so I was just very upfront with them and told them the feelings I had, because I kind of knew it was going to find its way back anyways. Because this is what these guys keep doing to each other. They pretend to be friendly to one another, and then they go trash talk each other immediately right afterwards. And what I just ended up saying was, I know that he doesn't really like me, and it's disappointing. And I also got to be told by, friends of mine about how, yeah, he was repeatedly bringing up over and over again the whole thing about the finale and trying to blame us for all of it. He wouldn't leave it alone. But then that he also went as far as calling me out for, like, my furry stuff and everything. And you know what their concern was? Their concern was not about any of that. What they asked me was, who's your friend that told you all that? Oh, are we fishing for information right now? Nah, I'm not giving you that one. Sorry. But I'll at least let you know that I'm disappointed by all of this and I'm aware of all of this at this point. And that's what I assume happened, was they immediately went and told him everything. And I don't care that they did. If anything, I was kind of hoping that by being that upfront and direct about it and just saying, hey, I never wanted to fight anyways. I never wanted all these arguments. Not to mention the person I was talking to had all of their own arguments with him and are well aware of all that. In fact, it was the awkward ending to the conversation as they were playing dumb about a bunch of these things that I had to go, by the way, I didn't forget anything. I just have to throw that out there. I didn't forget anything. I was defending you a lot in the past, too, when you were getting a hard time from him and you were desperately trying to come to everyone telling you how he was going after you. And they went like, oh, yeah, I haven't forgotten any of that either. No, I bet you haven't. But, yeah, we didn't have some kind of big fight. He never wanted to be direct with us and have conversations with us when he knew something was wrong. In fact, when Julian was trying to arrange a conversation with him, he kept insisting on, he's going to yell at me. That was his phrasing over and over again, was he's going to yell at me. When Julian was always very calm with him when trying to talk to him. It's a thing that's not going to ever be worked out here. And it's a mentality that's been enabled for God knows how long by so many different people that there's no need for there to ever be a reason to change either or improve. Because for a lot of people, this is what they want. A lot of people, this is what they always wanted. And that's why even on something like this, if people are hoping like, well, maybe if you... No. It's not going to reach people, especially in this modern era right now. This is not going to make people reconsider something. This is going to just get people to go after us all over again, and then we're going to have another incident where somebody drives out with a gun all over again. No. I don't want to do all this shit again, and that's why even with all this, I'm telling you guys, don't make this into some kind of big deal here. This was going on the whole time anyways, and it ended already like a few years back. I just don't feel like laying in a position, just not doing anything to even defend myself in the slightest in favor of someone who is still going out of their way to actively make harm happen here. I'd rather just be upfront about this one and be able to kind of move it on. I know people are not going to let me do that, obviously, but I'm going to try anyways. And that's why I'm telling people to. If you want to keep watching them, by all means, go ahead. But if you think that this is going to be the same kind of place here, it's not. If you feel like we're the same kind of people or something, we never were. I'm sorry about that, but at the same time too, yeah, this just might not be the right place for you, and there's no harm in that. This might just not be the right place for you then, and that's okay. You can go back to watching it and everything. Don't let this all ruin, your mood or something. These were personal experiences, and it's why I partially wasn't talking about these things to this length in the past, because it was also personal. It feels petty to have to talk about this kind of thing, but when somebody is going to be doing it anyways and trying to throw you under on all of it because you're not going to do it, then it finally has to eventually get into a point of, I don't feel like having another person come out with a gun. I kind of feel like just saying what sort of happened here so we can all just move on. Once again, they don't want to hear about us. We don't want to hear about them. And it would be just better for everybody if we can kind of get accepted as different things at this point. It was all so long ago in some cases anyways. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. But I'll finish up reading donations and everything here once I get back. So, just give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, that was a lot.
Have a good pee.
Pee?
Penis? I mean, Steven?
I mean, penis?
Be careful, you're going to fall down.
Tripped, yeah. I was thinking
Be
about
careful.
I like when her nose flaps like a bee.
Yes. Hi, guys. I haven't had a full night's sleep. I was staying up. So I've probably only had like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And unfortunate to hear that DD was still having to talk about bad stuff while I was out. But yeah, it's been, I think it's kind of just necessary that we have to like lay down some lines here because things have gone so far. Things are so crazy. It's probably not going to be the last time. As he was talking about, I think this is just going to be like a presence in our lives for as long as we continue to exist. It stinks, but nobody has a perfect life. DD keeps bringing up a specific point. He keeps going like, even being a billionaire doesn't make you happy. Elon Musk is like incredibly unhappy. And it does kind of remind you, because part of the reason that it makes me feel so hopeless is it just feels like cheaters get to win all the time. It feels like if you're willing to do bad things, it's just an advantage. But even if you go all in on that, and I don't know, Elon Musk seems like the sort of person who has really just gone completely all in on like being bad. He still didn't really win. It just makes everybody unhappy, including his own self. Thank you, Ninja. I'm very sorry that you guys have to keep jumping in to save us financially. It shouldn't have to be that way. Crowdfunding is like an idea with a lot of potential, and I was very excited when it kind of like Kickstarter first started being used to fund game projects and stuff like that, but the system still feels like it's not really working. The fact that we keep coming up short and like needing to do these emergency streams where we stay up all night, it seems like there's like a kink in the pipeline somewhere that we'll have to figure out. DD's coming back, so he's gonna talk now.
You got it running on the TV.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, we just lose because we lost a teammate, which stinks. And Nintendo will penalize you for quitting a game like that, even though obviously it wasn't your fault in any way. Maybe you don't want to spend the next 3 minutes losing a game, you'd like to just find another match, but no. You get to be punished if you do that, mister. Don't you dare. That's what video games are about, right? I play games for fun, you know? I play party games. My favorite party game is the one where you lose and you're having a miserable time. I'm joking. Don't take me... Hate.
Piss.
Loathe.
Slit.
Destroy. Agony. There's positive word. Trading. On account of the fact that every kill's a trade.
Love, as in you love playing this game.
They did it. This is one of the rare examples of a game where you did it, Nintendo. You kind of enforced the party game atmosphere because you don't have a very functional online system. Problem is, isn't this the game that they run their own tournaments for? So, oops. Okay, never mind. But yeah, if anyone's playing Splatoon and once again you're having like a hard time or like you're getting frustrated, I would say that's kind of the Splatoon experience. That is a part of it. Just remember that if you're getting a raw deal in a match, someone else is getting a raw deal too. Everybody is usually getting a raw deal of some sort. It's very rare to get a game where it actually feels like both teams were on even footing.
Whenever I'm doing well in the game, I feel bad because I'm like,
did you just see that?
No, I know the other guys are having a bad time.
So many people exploded there. Okay, you. Yeah, back into that. Thank you. Why? Did you not hear it? Another tip. More tips and tricks for Splatoon. Did you hear a bomb just dink behind you? Run! Run!
You need to listen to
You need to listen to audio in this game. They actually used to have even more audio cues. I know the first game actually had a way of like signifying what kind of kills something was based on the sound effect that played. That they don't do anymore, which is too bad. Oh, they're starting to copy us. They want to take over our side now. Who do you think came up with that? Okay, we're in. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm sure to the other team on this one, it was just a big thing of like, well, what was that? That wasn't fair. No, not really. But that's what it decided to match.
That's why I was saying you just have to accept it with this game. Don't take Turf War too seriously. Please, 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 please do not take this mode too seriously.
Now everybody's gonna start squid partying.
Oh, don't do that. Don't squid party. I hate that it's even called squid partying. Just call it what it is. It's teabagging.
Griefing.
Yes, it's griefing and it's teabagging. That's what you're doing. You know what you're doing. We gave it a family-friendly name because we wanted to sound like a fun thing. Oh, they're just partying. Why is that guy jumping off a cliff repeatedly? Oh, he's just partying. Why are my teammates deliberately like letting them into our side? Oh, they're just partying. Oh, I thought that used to be called griefing. I'm not up to date with these squid terms. So when you die in this game, oh, that's not dying. That's getting splatted, and it's fun.
The squids are like the Addams family. That they're like
they're like creepy and kooky, and they're all kind of goopy.
That's pretty good.
So that's a thing? Yeah, you've never heard of squid partying? Squid partying is seriously when your team decides to throw a match and everybody starts... I'll show you. This is what it looks like. Guys, I have a video on my YouTube channel making fun of Splatoon for all of the most obnoxious things that came with it. There's a King of the Hill video I posted, and at the end you can hear that this sound is going off. That sound is somebody squid bagging. It's the same thing as teabagging, and that's what a squid party is. All three of your teammates start doing this in a corner and refuse to play for the entire match. You know, a party. I mean, it kind of sounds, tedious and miserable, but a party. And that's just how people coined it, and it's what the community has deemed squid partying. But don't be a party pooper! I think it's the only video game I've ever played where I had to watch the community, embrace people ruining the experience. The weapon I'm using is all about movement, and that's why I like this game. I love getting to run around everywhere. It's a lot of fun. Yes, the old way of playing Brush in 2 is just going to be you get Ninja Squid, you hide, you pop out on people. People are realizing the Ink Brush this time is actually set up pretty well to just run and go and kill people. Because it is. The lasers are so good now for that. If you are charging in a danger and you know it's going to get you killed, you can set those lasers off as you're running through, and now suddenly the whole situation has changed. It is cool that you can do so much with the brush. I still liked having landmines. I played in a really weird way last game. Also, look, we're fucked. I don't think we can get out anymore. Team let them in entirely. I can die and respawn immediately. That is the benefit of the sodas, if you guys can't hear Julian. Good. Yeah, like Zelda. Good. You've killed me and my family and everyone I ever knew. Good. What I probably should have done was not even cover the stuff back up. I probably should have just dove into their side entirely. The mistake would have actually been going back to help there, because we were just going to fall back deeper if I did. I was doing what I should have done, it's just I needed more of a push if I was going to save that match. By the way, love that new addition. The HUD, when somebody dies, it flashes white for a frame. Really, really good. Thank you for doing that, Nintendo. I know that's such a subtle touch, but seriously, that catches your attention. You will notice it so blatantly when somebody dies. Now, like that. I saw the giant X's and the flash happen. I know that a bunch of people died. That's such a good visual cue to let you know something happened.
Bubble Bucket sounds like a SpongeBob location.
You're thinking of Bubble Bass.
And Chum Bucket.
Yes. Why isn't Bubble Bass in this game? He could be.
He could. He would fit in.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would even question it.
Can somebody mod Splatoon? I mean, everyone's been modding Splatoon. Can we swap all the models with just SpongeBob characters?
Which ones?
Pearl will be... I guess just Pearl. Just
Give her the outfit.
Have it be, instead of Pearl and Marino, it'll be Pearl and Mr. Krabs. Who's the old...
wearing the same outfit.
Who's the old man? I forget his name now.
Old Man Jenkins?
The cuttlefish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he could be Old Man Jenkins. He could also be... see, there's a lot of potential here. It writes itself. You think about it for even a moment, and all the roles are starting to make sense. Obviously, you'd be playing as a Squidward.
A Squidward? There's just a whole ton of Squidward.
I mean, remember, there was the village of them.
Yeah.
There's the whole place that he moved.
Acres.
Yeah, that's when Squidward goes, 4-way! only my feeling from my experiences so far, but man, that bubble shield. Probably one of the most invasive, like, disruptive specials in the game at the moment. Kind of has, like, infinite uses, even. It's very handy. It's a beacon, it's a shield, it's a safe place for everybody to jump to if you want to push. Cool trade that I didn't get credit for. Darn, and that was the charger. Or not the charger, sorry, the blaster. That was the one I was worried about. Blaster is a hard counter to the brush. Try being sneaky. Yeah, kind of hard to do on a map where there's only 2 paths that are completely in the middle and somebody's elevated on a platform with a charger. You're right, I'll try to be sneakier next time. Maybe I'll, like, dig an underground tunnel. I'll set up, like, an elaborate pulley system that can get me into their base.
Elaborate pulley system. I see you in a little bucket pulling yourself over everybody's heads.
You can't be too sneaky on that map. But this map is actually one of my least favorites out of all the ones in this game. That's too bad. Seriously, like I said, I think I did everything I feasibly could have done there.
You saw how close it was.
Yeah. That's too bad.
Less than 1%.
I even killed the guy that was pushing into our side. But yeah, that's why I was saying, I don't know what my team is doing. I know I'm doing what I should be doing, but is everybody else doing okay right now? And the answer was no. They were just letting them in completely. Someone said close matches like this don't feel bad. Yes, they do. I'm the one playing. Yes, they do. This one's going decent. I think that's why I'm not talking this one. That's like, hey, wait, this is almost feeling like a game. Not quite a stomp, it's just kind of like a match. Oh man, did you see that grenade? That was perfect. Call it a grenade, it was a bomb, but whatever. It's a grenade. But yeah, I lodged it in perfect. It bounced back to where he jumped. I was hoping to do that. Oh no! He sees him here! Oh no! Oh! It's not that big of a deal. Oh! This is fun. What happened here, guys? What did we do here? What is this? Guys, team, what? Want to explain this one to me? What did we just do here? Guess I'm gonna have to go into their side now because that just happened. I don't know if I can. Hope you like the new maps. I like some of them. I'm kind of mixed. I'm actually not a big fan of this, like, map bundle that this game started with.
It needs more already.
It needs more, but
it's
also...
too soon for me to say that.
Like I said, a few of them are driven around choke points, which I really don't like. Splatoon has so much movement in it, especially with the new systems, too. It's a shame to try to limit people in that kind of way. I like Splatoon maps being big with lots of different paths you can take. Someone said you got Catalog 98.
Whoa, hot damn.
Oh, because they're asking why I'm not using dabbing. Well, one, why would I? That's for, like, grandpas, isn't it?
It's still very impressive you got it that high. You were almost done filling out the whole thing.
Julian
I had a
said...
friend who did it at dinner once, and
I do remember he came in through the door, and he said, I'm going to set the world record for dabs! And he started doing it, like, 50 times. I was like, oh my god. Because we were waiting for a table, and... I forgot about that. It was kind of funny in a way. In a way. Not dead, huh?
Dab is out and Ming is in, but no.
It's all about whipping your hair back and forth.
Oh, come on!
Trades are trades. Look, they let them into our side, too.
I was sure you got him.
They let them into our side.
How many times have I said that?
I know. I mean, the one night, Julian was seriously, like, screaming at the TV at points, because I was mad the other night playing this, then he was getting mad watching me playing it. That's like, come on! That wasn't a trade! And it's like, I know. You don't have to tell me. You did everything you could! What? I know! You don't have to tell me. That's just what Splatoon is like sometimes. Oh no, he got a sticky hand! You can get those for like 50 cents from a vending machine. That's what that special's supposed to do, right? It puts your team in danger. And yeah, my catalog's about to... No, somebody in the chat said I'm at 98. I'm not at 98. I'm at 89. You flipped the number around. Oh no. But yeah, I think you have to be level 98 to get the dab. I think that's the problem when you have systems like that in the game, though. That's like, oh yeah, you get to customize your appearance, really trick yourself out, make yourself look like an individual. By the way, these things only unlock at these levels. Well, when you do that, you know what everyone's using? The highest level equipment to show off that they got it. No one's trying to be, like, unique if that's how it works in a lot of cases. I think if Halo had customizable armor, you know what everybody was using by the end? The Hayabusa armor, just because it was the hardest to unlock. Putting things behind a level like that, you're going to see a lot of people dabbing as soon as they get it, just because, yeah, it's the highest level one, you got dabbing. It's like a status symbol. Oh, I can't go that way, and unfortunately there's only really 2 paths I could take right now, so that sucks. I'm just going to have to go out and waste time until that guy decides to move. You do you. Oh, wait, I put a thing on you! No! You're not supposed to do that! Oh, you're not coming this way either. Now, who are you over here? You're not over here either. In fact, who's spawning? Who's spawning right now? You? Someone said you nasty with that brush. It's okay, it didn't matter. It only goes so far. We needed to go into their side, and our team was just not good about even trying to get in. Excuse me? Excuse me, weren't you looking at the person that you're in the fight with, and not somehow what just happened there? Alright, I mean, it was either a trick shot or something went on. If it's a trick shot, that was one hell of an impressive trick shot. I don't know how you, in like 2 frames, snapped to me there, but man, did you get it. And if it wasn't a trick shot, well, at least it probably looked cool on their side, so... Something is telling me that wasn't a trick shot, though, based on what just happened there. 360 no-scope, yeah, apparently. Like, split-second 360. I don't know where the other person... What? Huh? Okay, things are getting confusing. Everyone's just popping up and down everywhere. I don't know what's going on anymore. What kind of crazy world are we living in? Get out of here. No! I got it because I got into their side. Okay. Well then. Seems like the brush is always going to be a kill trade. With the netcode right now, absolutely. This is Splatoon, but that's why I've been saying it all stream. You just gotta accept it sometimes. Just accept the chaos. That's what everyone wanted, right? Oh, I get it now! That's why the netcode's weird in this game. Because chaos! That's what everybody voted for. So Nintendo's like, what? You don't want functional netcode? Okay. Everyone's like, wait, no, Nintendo, that's not what we meant! Okay. You said it, not me. You heard him, boys. Break the netcode.
Sledgehammers.
Reggie comes in with a hammer and throws it. What the heck, you three? We lost this one. If you want to see a good example of you're probably not going to make it in a game, push into the other side and hold a push for like 30 seconds, then open the map. Is your your entire team just spinning in circles in your own side? I'm sorry, that means you probably lost. That should not be happening, obviously. Here's our 3. What are we doing? What are we doing? Guys, there's nothing over there. You know there's nothing over there. Hey, guys. Ooh, I'm getting pranked on stream. George is getting upset at Splatoon.
It's too bad the Seinfeld cast isn't as easily applicable to Splatoon as the SpongeBob cast.
I'm in. Fuck all of you. This is my game. I own this game. I paid money for it. I paid for the shitty online service. Ah! Okay, did I win?
Your voice is awesome.
Oh, we got it!
I'm so very sorry.
Ah! This game. You did not earn that dab. You did not earn that dab. It drives me to drink. Oh, confound those Dover boys! Ah, good lord. Okay, I need a break for a bit. Is that alright, guys? Could I go get some water? What a miserable match! Oh my god!
Do Serenity now and adoration.
Serenity now! What was that match? We got it! Everybody who is on my team, I'm happy for you. At least you got a win.
I'll super jump. No one will ever know.
A bubble shield. I'll jump to it. No one will ever know. God.
I didn't see who did it, but somebody said, I hate Shiver, I hate Fry, and I hate
I'm not kidding. I'm like lightheaded after that. Let me go get some water.
Get some more, eat some of your sushi.
If anyone is getting matched with me on my team, please, if I say this way, just jump to me. That's all I request. That's all I request. That was agonizing. That's why I was opening the map and I was like, God damn, I'm in their side and everything. How's the team doing?
What should I say in the meantime?
I don't know. What do you want to say?
Okay, I'll move out of my spot. Because I was sitting at my desk. Hey, chat. Let me tell you a little story.
Tell a story.
About a limpet called Jim.
About a Mr. Limpet.
Jim was a really big fan of the film The Incredible Mr. Limpet. He wouldn't stop watching it, and he always brought it up to his friends at inopportune moments.
A little limpet with earring and makeup.
Like during bowel movements or sex. His friends got so sick of it, all of his little tiny limpet friends, they were trying to convince him that that the movie never existed, that like he made it up.
Somebody said I need a Hassie break. I wish I had a Hassie.
That they were trying to convince him that he made it up in his own mind, and they were so good at convincing him that it became real. They actually like erased the movie retroactively from existence, but luckily, what was his name? Jimmy?
I can't remember your own story.
Jimmy the Limpet. He was so dedicated to the memory of his favorite film that he went on a very long journey in which he met many colorful characters. There were song numbers, and he defeated a villain at the end that was actually pretending to be the good guy. And they managed to bring the film back to life. So Mr. Limpet is real thanks to Jimmy the Limpet, or
what? Limp Bizkit.
Jeremy, or whatever his name was.
Durst.
The end.
Just one of those days!
I'm not kidding with that last one. I had a moment where I was like, I seriously need to go like take a deep breath right now. When you're playing this game, just make jokes to yourself. Just say stupid things while you're playing it. Try to take yourself out of it, because I would have gone insane that match if I was taking it serious. I'm glad it worked out. I am. I'm thrilled we won, but oh my god. I still can't believe it. Ay, ay. What happened? Synopsis. Oh, were you not here for it? Well, we've been talking a lot tonight about how Splatoon can be very frustrating, and the other team got into our side instantaneously, which wasn't a big deal. I killed them when they came in, so I figured, okay, I'll go into the enemy team side and cover all of it, and I did it! I killed 2 of them who were in the way, and I started covering everything, and it was great, and I got so excited that I opened the map, and then I saw our 3 teammates were all in the corner of our base, not doing anything. No, rank up matches, someone just said rank up matches are hell. I can give you the reason right away why rank up matches are hell. Because people disconnect. That's why. That counts as a loss if somebody else disconnects and you get booted. Sometimes, oh, it's fantastic. Going to Clan Blitz, oh, you get your 5 wins, it's done. Good, perfect. Sometimes you go in and that someone on your team is now gone. Now suddenly 3 people are gone, and now it's just over with anyways. You got booted too, and here's a loss to come with it. Like I said, I've had people telling me they're just avoiding ranked right now until there's a patch for the netcode. I am so sorry. I don't think that patch is ever going to come. I think this might be the most watched Splatoon 3 stream right now, though. So, Nintendo, if you're watching, I'm sorry I'm swearing at your video game. But then again, I feel like maybe you wanted me to.
Gyro says, there's not even any cute bird boys around tonight.
It's true! Where's CJ when you need him?
Good old CJ.
It's okay. One got very, like, it blew up big on Twitter. Everyone was furious because someone drew a Vor-related piece of art for the Splatfest. Now, when I say Vor-related, you can easily, like, if people know what that is, that's the first step. You need to know what that even is. If you know what that is, though, you can probably fill in with your mind what that would be.
And then let me tell you now that that's not even what the image was. The image was just a salmon with his mouth open. The text was the thing that made it suggestive. And yes, it's bad. I don't get behind that at all. You shouldn't be doing that in a kid's game anyways, but it was weird to me that that was the one everybody wanted to turn into a controversy when it's like, I'm seeing gigantic butts and tits just in the lobby sometimes. But even then, I've seen more suggestive furry. We had it happen on stream. It was weird to me that that was the one that set everybody off. Hey, can you cover all this? Please cover that to the left. You're not covering to the left. You gotta cover that on the left. Ah, he didn't cover any of this. If they fix the netcode, I would recommend people to play it, but I can't, like, in good faith recommend this game at the moment until they do. And I'm not going to actually change that stance. Nintendo, do something about it. You've had 3 games now. I don't think there's any excuse anymore. You just don't want to do it because it saves you money. I know that's what it is. It's not any other reason like creativity or whatever people would make up because it's Nintendo.
Whoa. I didn't think you were taking out.
Nothing like a trade! The world loves a trade! What?!
No.
What?! What?!
It's almost Halloween.
Alright, time to take a second break. God damn it. This fucking game! This fucking game! Oh, he's doing too well! Pull the plug! He was about to wipe their team! Pull the plug! Abandon ship! Nintendo! Stop! God damn. Jesus! You were doing so good too. I know! I know! You don't have to tell me! I know! Yeah, kids love being impatient. Kids love having their time wasted. I can't go to school today. The game keeps disconnecting me, so I have to play it longer. Good plan, Nintendo. That'll keep them hooked. Get it hooked like a fish. We are exploiting our audience. God. This is one of those Call of Duty Rage videos. Not quite, because of one of those, it's the player losing. It's not the player winning and still screaming at the game because the game isn't working. This is a really rare situation. It's why I said, this is not like other games. There are so many games that I can accept luck as a factor and not even get mad about it. Splatoon is in its own league of bullshit, where something like that, for example, I'm not getting mad because I was losing. I was winning. I was having fun. Do you know why I'm mad? Because I got disconnected while I was having fun. I finally got a fun match and the game booted me out of it. And if that was ranked, that would have been a loss, even though that wasn't my fault. That's why I'm yelling. This isn't the same thing as like a typical like rage video you would see. This is a rare situation of someone is doing well and is just trying to have fun and the game is standing in their way. But that's what Splatoon's designed around. It really is designed around the multiplayer. When I hear people bring up like the campaign and glowing regards, it's really not. It's fun. It is entertaining, but it's not like top of the line, this is the best campaign ever. No, in fact, this time around, the story is a lot of fun, but it's divided out pretty heavily. 2 had a very like non-story for its campaign. The campaign's fun, but it's not the highlight of this game. The multiplayer really is supposed to be the experience you're coming in for. Even like socializing, even though Nintendo won't let you really socialize much here, even with like the central hub and everything.
They just added a locker system.
Exactly. I can go show that off. They have lockers over here. They did so much because they want you to be involved in the multiplayer. Let's close that. Never mind.
Maybe not that much.
If people don't want to hear someone openly discuss video games, this is not the right stream to come to. I do actually talk about games and how they work. And if I'm new to a game or something, I do want to learn it and like understand it. Nintendo! Stop! Wow!